Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, so I'm rushing around. Look, I'm wearing my Magick Harry Potter shirt. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Yay! I literally had I do the, what is it called? I do the volunteer fire department, their auxiliary, and it's normally every third Thursday. Yep. But we weren't supposed to have a meeting this month. I wasn't going to have to worry about this until next month, until they told us a day ago or 2 days ago. I think I found out yesterday that we were doing this today. So I literally ran from there. I was there like 20 minutes and had to rush home. So yeah, so I hope everybody's doing good. How's everybody doing? Hi, Cora. Hi, Nora. Hi, Mark. Hi, Michael. Hi, Ashley. Is just black for anyone else? No, it shouldn't be black. Finally have a working phone. Can't see you. Wait, what? Doc, can you see me? Huh. Everybody's saying they can't see me. I'm going to go on my thing. That's so weird. Why isn't it showing? Hang on a second, you guys. Such an innocent way of saying I'm mad. Can you guys see me yet? Oh, you can see me now. Oh, good. I was like, wait, I'm so confused. I didn't do anything. I literally stopped my cam and started it back up, but I don't know why it wasn't showing me. That's super weird. Everybody can see me now, though? Oh, good. Thank you, guys. This is my nephew. My son just came and sat next to me to drink my drink. Look, he literally is drinking my drink. You can't see it. Hi, Jean Fury. So, hi, Katie. Can you have the rest of it? No. What does this mean?
It's like shy.
Oh, you're not shy. That's the least. Let me have a sip. Can you just give me something else? Maybe a ginger ale one. Thanks. So we all love these. They're sparkling love. That's literally what it says. Sparkling love. How cute is that, right? Oh, I can drink them because they're keto.
There isn't any ginger ale.
I don't want the orange one. You drink the orange one.
I'll try it.
You've had it before. Look at my son just wants to annoy me right now. Jot, you want to say hi to everybody? Okay, I'm going to sage myself. Of course, it's my Urban's Edge. I'm going to sage myself. And then I'm going to give myself an attitude adjustment because sometimes we need that. I just was rushing, so I would rather just calm my energy down. Smokeless smudge. So I'm saging myself. Getting rid of all the negativity. What? I don't have any negativity. And then I let go of the negative shit. This is attitude adjustment in a bottle. It is the truth. Okay. So, and we'll do chakra cleanse. It's a 7 chakra cleanse. It's amazing. I'm just going to do them all because it just makes me feel good. Okay. Oh, that's so nice. Holy shit, that works. Like, I can't even tell you. I'm super laggy and pixelated. I don't understand why. Okay, I'm going to try this. That's weird. Tell me if it's any better, you guys. And she's back. What is going on tonight? Super weird. Can you please go check the connection on this end, at the other end where the thing is, please? Jet is going to check the connection for me. He's like my tech supervisor. No, he just runs my errands for me, and he's very good at helping me when I do my lives. So I appreciate Jet super, super much. Super much. Okay. Oh, wait, I'm clear now that I unplugged it. I tethered myself, and untethering myself seemed to make it better. What? You guys are all saying it's... I can't. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Usually, if I'm tethered to my Ethernet, that's supposed to make it better because I'm right there. But I literally unplugged it. I can't even show you guys. See? I unplugged it. And now it's better. Weird. Okay. I'm not going to fight it or question it or anything else. Okay, shh, please. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to talk about. One of my peeps.
Can me and Logan go over to Breen's to get some drinks or like some chocolate syrup or chocolate milk?
Oh my gosh, why? Why? There's drinks here already, buddy.
Like what?
Okay, I can't.
Exactly.
In the bag. These kind of drinks. If you... Hang on one second, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Kids! So, I have one of my friends that is backstage waiting for me, and he's actually been helping me. He's like letting me know, like you guys have been as well. Is there a retrograde right now? I don't remember. I know Venus went direct. Mom voice. Exactly, Cora. Exactly. The uni don't want that way. Yes, it didn't want me that way, I guess. Thank you so much. My labradorite. And my pentagram. Okay, so this is my Witches Roundtable. I am waiting for another one to join. She's supposed to be coming on soon here. I'm going to make sure she's on her way. And then I just was told right before I left for my meeting that my one girlfriend cannot be on because she had a job interview. So I can't say anything because I wish her super success. Because, yeah, there's so much stuff going on in the universe right now, right? Especially with jobs and stuff. So, boys, that's Logan, my cousin's son, and my cousin, obviously, too. But he's literally trying to quiet my children. I appreciate you, Logan. Thank you. So, we have 3 people that will be doing the roundtable this time. I like it, Doc. I'll see you jamming out. So they're just gonna bicker, I guess. I'm sorry. I'm super sorry. Because they wait all day long to bicker until they're here together during my show. Okay. So focus, ADD, Cindy. Okay, so what you guys can do is I'm going to try and keep up with your comments, and if you have questions, and I just was scratching, so I'm right. I get it. If you want to ask something, we'll try and make sure that you get heard. Okay. I'm going to bring Doc on now. He's like, no. Wait, you don't want to come on yet, Doc? He's teasing me here. Oh, Doc, you're such a tease here.
It's only teasing if it doesn't come true.
Right. This is Dr. Mystical. For those of you who do not know, this is my buddy.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my gosh. Jean Fury, you are amazing.
Like a cat? Like go spray them like cats?
Yes. I have done that before. Excuse me, COVID. Sorry. I'm just kidding. Jet, come here, please. Yes, I was going to do it. It works, too. I have a tickle all of a sudden. What in the hell is going on right now?
Hey, Cora, how are you?
I was so fine. Hi,
Hey, Ted.
Teddy. Oh my gosh. I have no idea what's going on. Teddy has his show later on. Talk with Teddy. I believe Teddy has changed the time. Teddy has changed the time for his Talk with Teddy. It's now 10 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, not 11 p.m. anymore. So it's 10
I like
p.m.
the alliteration of that, right? 10 o'clock, Talk with Ted. I like the alliteration of that. That makes me very happy. That makes my inner marketer very happy.
Yes, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Pickle juice, Cindy Lou. Yes, and I have some. The Boys Cadet. Jet, will you get me some pickle juice? So he literally just did. I don't know if you heard it, but it's hysterical. So I don't know where my girlfriend is. My other girlfriend, Shar. Doc, it may just be you and I. Just you and I.
Let's just start getting rid of people out of the chat right now.
Hysterical. So I talked to my girlfriend earlier. She knew we were all good with it. So I'm just she should be on here. She's a Taurus. So yes, Teddy says it is 10 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. And he's also on big show coming up about the new Godzilla movie, friends. All you Godzilla fans out there. Right, his mustache is amazing. Did you put your no, you don't have, did you put your name up there?
Oh, I can't. Yeah.
Hi, David. Aw, Lovey, how are you?
You got to turn it on the brand. Yeah. You got to add. There you go. That's me.
At Dr. Mystical. He's on every social media. Literally, you can find him. All's the media is at Dr. Mystical. There he is. There's my girl.
Hello.
So, this is Lady Bost. I love it. So, I already said your real name, though. Well, not your whole full
I don't
name.
remember what it was.
Good.
So,
if that helps you.
There you go. Okay. So we're gonna do is we're gonna start. Should I do it this way or the other way?
Well,
Which way do you guys like it?
add the other person too, right?
Nope. She actually couldn't at the last minute. She has to do an interview for a new job.
Yeah, this way I like this way. This is good.
Yeah. So this is the thing is she's in Phoenix, so it's literally 5 o'clock her time right now. So that's why it's tough for her because the time difference. Where is there a time difference for you?
No, it's 8:18 here.
Oh, okay,
saying
yeah. So it's the same as us.
Yep.
Yes, his hat is great. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
wear it. Yeah.
Do you have can you share the screen too, Doc, or no?
I can. What do you want me to share?
I want them all to see your Dr. Mystical.
Oh, my dice?
No. Your literal like logo.
Oh, my logo. Oh, I don't know where that is anymore.
It's so cute. So you see Doc just have a top hat and the mustache, and you have the glasses, right?
Yeah.
That's
The
literally
monocle, yeah.
yes. Oh yes, the monocle. Yes. That's literally Doc.
Yeah, that's my friend Pam from Brown Paper Creative designed that for me.
It's amazing. It is
Yeah, she did a
literally.
good job.
Hey Janelle, my niece is on here too. Listen, I'm so thankful that my family comes on and visits me. Okay, so how about if I have you guys start introducing yourself? We'll go Dr. Mystical, then Lady Bost, and then I can say something about myself.
Okay. So thank you for having me, Psychic Cindy. I'm Lady Bost. So my name is Dr. Mystical, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And I'm a tarot content creator, but I'm also a medium and a Reiki master teacher and a witch and an empath and all that good stuff. And that's exactly right. Ted did have me on many moons ago.
To be before me, Doc, because you weren't on since I've been on.
Yeah, no, that was many moons ago. That was when I lived up in the northern part of the country. So, and now I live down here in the third world of Florida. I'm not saying I'm judging Florida, but
But I'm judging Florida.
it is true what they say.
It really is.
It's super great weather. They just really need to have better people. And I'm sure if you're watching and you're from Florida and you're thinking, I take offense to that you are not one of the people I'm talking about. But they're, because there's plenty of those too. But yeah, you can find me on all those little social media platforms, but I'm a tarot content creator. I run tarot live shows. I do videos about tarot and magic and all sorts of wonderful things. And then of course, that's the outward persona. Inwardly, the work I do is around, kind of my own magic and my own work that I do. And so like I have an inner sanctum of people who say are Reiki clients or do things like that. So.
Awesome.
And then I have my own magic, right, that I do just for me, like,
I mean, right.
During some private times.
Oh wait, I can't hear you now, Shar.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Oh, there you are.
I don't know who this Shar is.
Sorry. I said it again.
I don't think
trouble. She's trouble.
Watching anyways.
Right. So, Lady Bost, would you like to tell us about yourself?
Well, I've been a practicing witch since 1993. I became a high coven in 96. I had a store for quite a few years, but now I'm retired and I mostly do ritual and stuff myself or maybe with a few close friends and family. So, but that's me. So,
let's see. I have known you since 1998.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
We were both 12. It was good.
We were 12. It was unbelievable.
And I was just a young pup of 56, just 19.
Stop it. Doc is probably the youngest one here, to be honest.
I don't know. These days we're all aging faster. So time has slowed down, and
it's great when you put blood on your face and you're using
Oh, is that right? All right.
For beauty.
I'll try that.
Beauty products. For those who are looking at this and going, "Oh my God, she puts blood on her face." No, it's a joke. Witches, blood, and sacrifice. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Don't you remember who brought the baby?
Wait, say that again. Say that again. You're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, Jesus. I was saying that when we had circles, sometimes they would joke about who brought the baby.
Right. Oh my gosh. It was funny because we could all laugh at it.
Right. But some people don't know that it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
It's a joke. It's people don't do this anymore.
No.
And they never did. Well, that we know, that we have direct visual evidence of, but we're pretty sure they didn't.
Right. Well, I don't know. My dreams when I
I watched a very interesting documentary the other day on voodoo and voodoo practice, and tracing it back to its African roots, and the talk about voodoo and the entities. And voodoo is less about a practice as it is much about a group of kind of goddesses and, or, you know, kind of these deities. And they talk specifically about how the Hollywoodization of voodoo practice, you know, demonized and turned it into all these things, when in reality, they show the heart of and all this. I'll go look for it while we're talking, but it was interesting to hear the kind of how, because we have this, even though we're in the spiritual world and we may or may not know people who are voodoo practitioners, but, you know, we still see and still succumb to some of that Hollywoodization of voodoo practice and hoodoo practice and what those things really mean. But when this guy traced it back to his home country in Africa, and how he grew up in voodoo, and traced the rituals and what they mean, and really it really explained it as nothing more than, you know, like any spiritual practice. And they did talk about the sacrificing of they talked about the sacrificing of animals, cows and goats and chickens and things like this. And and that stuff, it seems really like it's super ceremonial and super ritual, but it's not. They're not just killing these things for sport. They're not just, you know, like killing a cow and leaving the cow. They're, you know, the cow goes to feed the community at the ritual, and that that this honors the cow. Whereas you look at the Americanization of voodoo, or even consumption of food, we're so detached from that process that we're paying no ritual to the animals that are being essentially sacrificed for our benefit. Whereas voodoo practice wants to be very in touch with that kind of earth energy, the very kind of natural laws of the universe energy, and that it's not actually any different. I mean, the process of the ritual process of sacrificing the cow is probably way more humane than the mechanization of a beef processing plant, for example. So I mean, we demonize it because of Hollywoodization and the Rainbow and the Serpent and all these other movies, and it's not quite like that, right?
No, I mean, we still, all three of us, I'm certain you guys have heard stuff as well, even about paganism or Wicca and witchcraft, and how it's demon work as well. When you have the Hollywood version, so much different than reality, right?
Ted said, I'd never heard that. Ted says in the chat, first of all, Ted, I'd love to come back on if you'll have me. But also, he said something about a tale about folklore about babies used as flying ointment. I don't know. I had 2 babies, and I didn't feel anything even remotely close to flying.
Well, it's supposed to be that you use the baby's fat to create the flying potion, the flying lotion.
There must be something else in it, because babies don't help you fly.
No,
No.
no, they don't.
Run.
I mean,
They help you run.
run
Make
far,
a
far
way.
away.
Hey,
Right.
time, but yeah,
Yeah. Hide. They do that too.
Hide.
Wicca is so exciting, and you're going to be very disappointed because it's not all that exciting,
Right.
And the rules, and they think, oh, there's no rules. I'm like, there's more rules. There's less rules than 10 Commandments, but the rules are much more personal.
Yeah.
You're gonna get zapped in the butt if you do something that you're not supposed to be doing. So it's not like
Yep.
you have to wait to die. It's gonna happen to you when you're walking around right now. So that's more current than, oh, thou shalt not kill, don't sleep with your neighbor's wife.
Damn it. Shouldn't have slept with her. I mean, what? That's a joke. I really haven't done that.
Wife?
Yeah, it was a joke. Literally, I mean, I'm okay with women that want to sleep with women. I just haven't. It was a joke. Again, I'm trying to
Trying to lighten the mood from sacrificing living things.
sacrificing and sleeping with women. I mean,
Set up a date.
wait, what's that?
I said, maybe are you looking for a date? What are you doing?
I mean, maybe. Listen, I can do some magic by myself.
It's much more personal magic.
Personal magic. We are talking about sexual magic for those who don't understand our winking.
Yeah.
The winking is not part of the sex magic. Just so
No.
I mean,
the awkward winking.
yeah.
It's not part of sex magic, but
No, but Lady Boss, I think you're exactly right. Like when you talk about that, then we talk about the kind of the rules of Wicca and the rules of our spiritualism, that it's that there are rules, but the rules are, it's not just that they're personal, they're daily, right? This is kind of your way in the world as opposed to your way on a Sunday or a bumper sticker. And those are some of the things that I think that why I think spiritualism is kind of coming back around, that it provides us a foundation and a way to kind of a lens by which we can make our decisions about the work that we're doing in the world. And not that organized religion like Christianity or Judaism or Islam or any of these religions don't have an edict or a code of ethics, but again, like the ritualization has become compartmentalized to a day or days, or and spiritualism is much more like you wake up and you're in your temple, so to speak.
Exactly. And I love that. That's one of the things that I love personally but you have to live up to your own morals and your own ethics, right? It's and some may not have the same morals and ethics that I do, so their gauge is a little off from mine, right? As long as they're okay with it, then. But I'm pretty stringent when I have the Wiccan read and stuff like that, and the rule of 3. Like, I know the shit I'm putting out there is going to come back to me, so I will not be with the neighbor's wife. You know why? Because she's freaking married, and I don't want that energy to come back to me. That's what it really comes down to. Not that she's a woman and I don't want to have sex with a woman. It's that if I steal somebody else's person, woman, man, anything else, I'm getting that energy back. Listen, I want my true love. I'm not fucking that up. Right?
Cindy has an opinion on this subject.
What's that, Lady Boss?
I said, yes, you do have opinions on that.
I do. Yeah. Listen, and I'm not judging anybody else for their choices. It is my personal choices. That's it. I know what will come back to me, and I'm not messing with that.
Right.
I'm not messing with it.
That's right. Yep.
So if you're going to put out good, you're going to get some good shit back. If you're going to put out some negative shit, you're going to get some negative shit back. Okay. I'm just saying.
Give people in the shop that say, "Oh, I'm having such terrible luck and such terrible things are happening," and you go, "Well, what have you been doing?" And all the stuff they're doing has been underhanded and, you know, backstabbing and trying to get what they call get ahead and so forth. And, you know, if they would look at their actions, that, I mean, even if you want to just talk scientific, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Exactly.
You know, I mean,
That's
and
right.
people put that apply or certainly does. And now it's, you know, it's been called karma and a lot of different things. But, you know,
Mhm.
if you really want to get down to it, it's a scientific fact. For every action, there's an equal and opposite. So
Exactly.
cliff and you're going to get hit by a car. So, you know,
Gee whiz.
but
Now your science ain't messing around. It's like, you know, you steal that candy bar, you're liable to get killed. Just saying. Yeah.
oh, gosh.
done already? You can come and sit. You don't have to. My cousin is here and she's like, I said, you can come and sit. She's like, do I want to? I'm like, well, you don't have to.
That downstairs that wants to.
Ah!
Oka, he's like, why are you sitting there, mommy? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Really?
You doing? Okay, so stop messing up my
Shut your pie hole.
altar. Okay, so speaking of that, do you guys have a working altar? Is it private? Is it for the family? Is it in the public, or is it both? Right?
Well, I have one to my boss and her brother Cora. I have one that's there, and then I have one to Toth because I'm in education, so he's the god of that sort of thing. And they're in my living room, and no one would know that that's what they were. But you know, if they tried to put a cup or something on one of my altars, like, you know, it's an altar. But that's okay, you know.
Right.
But yeah, mine have always been kind of out there in the public. I do have private ones, like one in my bedroom, but
Right.
I don't hide it, but I don't advertise exactly what it is. It looks really pretty, and statue, unless they know what they're looking at, they don't know what they're looking at. So
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, I have a pretty public altar that you can see behind me. So this and I mean, this is like this is my tarot practice altar, right? So that's where I keep like my tarot kind of exists out in public, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the public altar. It's out in the main living area. We don't entertain people in our house because we don't like people in our space. So I don't care if they come, they can come, but we're probably not gonna put that away. And
Right.
probably they're gonna see. So one of the things that I practice a lot of sigil magic, and so we're gonna see they're gonna see a lot of sigils lining, say, the walkway or the driveway or things to keep them away. Like,
Right.
they're not necessary to scare them. They're to protect me, and to protect our house from.
But tell
various
people what a
sundry
sigil
things.
is, because
So-
a lot of people may
Yeah.
not know or understand what a sigil
Sure.
is.
So sigils are kind of it's a kind of a magical embellishment, right? So you take an intention, you take a purpose, you take a goal or a wish or something that you want to see happen. And you kind of strip down, like the way that you create a sigil is you kind of strip this down into a symbol that you use to kind of activate that intention in your workings. And so people use sigils for, they want to get good grades in school. They use sigils for that. They want to keep, the floodwaters away. They'll use sigils for that. They want to. So there's a lot of So they can use sigils for that, but then you can also use sigils for if you're creating magical servitors. These are kind of thought forms that you want to that you kind of put your intention into something that is magical, and it looks and feels in your magic workings like a person or an entity, and you can attach a sigil to that. But the idea is this embellishment is really an activation, and we see sigils everywhere in our life, like
Yes.
everywhere. If you drive past a McDonald's, you saw a sigil. If you have an Apple computer, you saw a sigil. And
Right.
so all branding, brand icons, these things are sigils that represent that company or that work. But sigil magic itself is pretty, it can be very, very personal, and you can kind of put these things together. And I use sigils, I put sigils on me, and I don't know if you ever saw Strange Angel, but he went. But speaking of Hollywoodization of spiritualism, but nonetheless, I mean, people who come will see like my home as altar with the sigils out front, though they probably wouldn't recognize what they were if they saw them.
Right.
As far as they're concerned, they look like chalk drawings that my
Can you turn off
youngest
my
mystical
AC,
has done.
please?
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
runes, ever put runes together?
I played a little bit with runes. That's on my list of things to start to tinker with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, runic
somewhere
stuff.
around here I made dice, but yeah. So I mean I'm familiar with runes. It's something I'm very interested in, and I wanted to kind of play with it a little
It's
bit.
crazy that you guys are bringing it up because I used to shard Lady Boss. Do you remember that I used to wear? I can't help it.
That's okay.
I used to wear rune necklace, and it had 2 runes on it all the time. Do you remember that? And I haven't worn them in a long time. And I found them, and I went looking for them. I'm like, because I felt so drawn to be wearing them again and having them in my energy field again.
Yep. Well, when our coven was active, the people that called the quarter had we had angelic representation also, and there's sigils that stand for like Michael, Gabriel, and Ezreal, and people. We had those like on that we had at the altar because we would call upon the angelic energies as well. So
Yeah.
that
And
was
then
really
that's really awesome. The archangels are heavy magic, right?
yeah. Well, I never had worked with them. I mean, I started out in my I was very Christian, but I wasn't Catholic, so there wasn't a lot of angelic stuff in Lutheranism. But it was just we had some stuff happen that decided was from.
Hey, guys.
So, we started looking into stuff, and then we started looking at energy, and oh my gosh, that's pretty heavy duty stuff, archangels. Because people misinterpret that angelic energy belongs to a religion, does not belong. I mean, every religion is winged beings, and more than likely, they're ancestors on another planet. But it's really very interesting to work with. But there's sigils for that as well. There's sigils for that as well. So.
Yeah. I have used, so I always called it sigils as well. And I know that Doc calls it sigils. It's the same spelling, Sigils. And it depends on how you say it. Much like Cindy says major arcana or major arcana in the same.
Right.
In the same reading.
Yes, the same reading. I do it. I'm like, whichever. Tomato. It's fine.
The tarot, the main guys.
Right. The guys, the dudes. Yeah. So one thing I didn't say. So are you guys solitary or in covens now?
I'm solitary.
Yeah, I don't get along with people.
Live in the Bible Belt, as does Dr. Mystical, so our people is a little bit limited.
Right.
As Or
Yeah.
No. And I've always been solitary.
It's a little churchy.
It's
Yeah. Well, when I briefly lived in Florida, and I used to joke to my husband, strip club, church, strip club,
Yeah.
church. I mean, and I said, well, because they do all that sinning, need all those churches. So yeah,
That's
whatever.
right.
right.
That's right.
That's hysterical. That is so true, actually.
It's the weirdest thing. It was bizarre. My favorite memory, though, from living in Florida was we were in a trailer park at the time, and we heard all this hullabaloo. It was a Sunday, and the man was beating his wife and children because they were going to church. Literally,
Oh my God.
people kicking them, dragging them by the hair to the car, and then finally gave up and said, "The hell with it, we're not going to church." And I looked at my husband and I said, "Can I go and hit him with a baseball bat, please, please?" But he
I'll go to church right after I do that. It's okay.
right after,
I will-
yeah, beating his family to get them going to church. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
okay,
There's a lot of weirdness
Yeah.
down here.
I like, so Teddy just asked a question. I love it, actually. He said, so does the panel live as witches, the religion, science, or when needed?
no,
I live it.
Yeah, I mean, it's my practice, right? So I mean, this is just kind of my way in the world, and so
Right.
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, it doesn't like come out when I mean, it's there all the time. So
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so I will say to my bestie who was supposed to be on here, Val, I will tell her that I've been a bad witch. And when I say that I've been a bad witch, it means that I do my spells, but I do them in my head so much. Instead of like doing a full-blown ritual, I literally walk through every single step. I'm very specific in doing everything. I live in my head so much, and I do my spell work so much in my head.
Yeah, manifestation doesn't take a whole lot of whatever. It's intention.
Exactly.
yeah, I agree.
So
And the belief behind it, knowing and trusting and believing that
That's right.
because
I mean,
you say
that's-
it's so, it is so. Right?
That's right. And and I think for me, that's a lot more of what my practice kind of looks like, is that kind of that
Hi,
intention
Elizabeth.
setting, the meditation of it, and the manifestation of it. Like those are the things that, it's not to say that I don't sit down and do the work, but to some degree, it's, in the moment, like I need to get this intention out, and I need to kind of recognize, or I need to recognize something that's happened.
right.
So in spell work, what are your guys' thoughts? Because with me, when I do spell work, I firmly believe in, that we harm none, including ourselves, which includes, no, what is the word? I just had it.
No psychedelic drugs.
No psychedelic drugs. Well, personally, for me, no. No, what is the freaking word?
It's no fun. I can't do drugs.
Guys that I've dated have been very, starts with an M, A maybe. Oh my God, it literally just flew out of my head.
Masochism? Is that what you're looking at?
They're masochists, yes. Manipulators.
Oh,
So no manipulation. So And-
That's funny you had to go that far to get that, but that's
I know, I could not think of it. Lord have mercy. So I
gracious.
firmly believe in no manipulation as well. So I'm not going to put out negativity, but I'm not going to try manipulating as well. And so there's a lot of, like, you go on the internet, you'll find a love spell at any time, right, guys?
right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how many do you think the percentage is that they are using manipulation in those spells?
99%.
Yeah.
And I was going to say 9 out of 10 times I see spell work on the internet that is highly manipulative,
Yes.
that I would never do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we see that's the same thing in tarot practice too, right? People always ask me about how to, and how that comes out is, I'm not going to answer that question. The question, and tarot's not going to answer it anyway, even if I wanted to. Cards are going to tell you. But what it will tell you is how you can how you can prepare yourself for love. You can, what are the things you
Right.
need to get right with? So, I mean, to the degree that that's manipulation, it really, I don't know that I wouldn't call that manipulation as much as it is about education, like awareness. Like
Right.
these are the things that you need to kind of make happen. That said, right, spell work is, like, I think that people try to like, obviously, if magic worked that way, that everybody would do it that way.
Well,
Right.
That's not the way that, and it may work, right? That's the thing. I mean, that's kind of the rule. That's kind of like what goes around comes around. Like, it may work.
Right.
But you better be willing to take your lumps with it as
Yeah.
well.
It may keep working.
Old lady came in and she wanted to do a spell on this guy to marry her because he had a lot of money. This older woman, I mean, she was much older. She was probably 70. And she wanted to put a spell on the guy because he had a lot of money and wanted to marry him. She told me flat out that he was like, why do you want him? Because he's got money. I said, why don't you to give you money so that you don't have to get money from someone else? Why don't we do that?
Mm-hmm.
And
She
that
was-
person was my dad's current wife.
Oh,
Die.
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry. The truth. It hurts sometimes.
She did the spell, and then like stalked her, and she came back, and I said, "You're on your own."
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you got what
Yeah,
you
I
wanted.
mean,
On it, so
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly right. It's that be careful what you wish for.
exactly.
Free will, Ted said. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Audience.
yeah, that's exactly right. And I think Ted's right. It's free will. I mean, all magic does from a chaos magician standpoint, what magic does is it increases the likelihood or the opportunity for that thing to happen. And the more that it happens, the more often your magic is working, kind of the more you start to see the effect and the working and how it works. But
Yeah.
it's not ever, and we talk about it on my show periodically, we talk about it as small magic. Like, we're not talking like, listen, if I could cast a spell to change certain, like, really lightning rod situations that we're facing in this world today, like, it would have been done. It would have been done.
Right, we would have all been doing that shit.
That's big magic, right? But small magic is kind of where I focus a lot of at least my work, and I think that's where a lot of people who are magicians and witches spend their time is in understanding that I can't make someone fall in love with somebody else. Like, what I can do is I can maybe get you introduced, like we can maybe put you in the right place,
Right.
and that is then it becomes, well, we can't force people into different situations. So yeah, no, Ted's exactly right.
But you're right,
Do you guys-
Carol. With people, because these people always used to say to me well, you're not saying anything about life, and I'm like, well, evidently that's not what you need to hear right now. You need to hear that you've got to do this, this, and this to improve yourself, and then maybe love will come to you once you've got your head out of your ass. I mean, but first you got to get it so that you're lovable, because right now you're not. So
Right. They don't love you for a lot of reasons, and so here are these reasons. Yeah, and I think that sometimes that's hard for people to hear. Like, I think if they're not aware already that there might be problems, that's when they go to this kind of manipulative magic thing. Like, what's wrong with me? It's obviously we need to change that person.
But a lot of times, though, it really is that person, right? A lot of times they need to be the ones to work on themselves first and foremost.
It's like anything. Like, you need to, like, it's like anything in readings or magic workings. I mean, you have to work with the person that you're working with. Like, that's I can't, like, we can't, like, I can't, like, can you give in mediumistic work? Can you read? Can you tell me what he's thinking? No. I mean, yeah, but no. I mean, I probably could, but I'm not going to. And,
do I want to?
Right.
No.
I can tell you what you're thinking, and I can tell you what the situation is, and I can maybe give you some insight into why things are happening, but I'm
Right.
not gonna I'm not gonna tell you what this other person's thinking, because what did one of my mentors refer to that as, like psychic assault. Like it's essentially
Right.
like like just being
Yep.
a psychic predator, just
Right.
going around. So yeah,
Yep.
Ted's saying, yeah.
Up all the time.
Happiness draws happiness. That's right. Listening,
me-
learning.
Dirty books. So that's what I tell them. I don't read dirty books. So no, I can't read.
You can't read dirty books.
All right. That's good. I think that's good. Yeah.
So Marie says, this is random, but do you guys believe in witch doctors?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of proof,
It's
especially
Yeah.
in Africa, and things
Mhm.
do work. Some of this stuff does work. I'm not saying that modern is replaced by that in any way, but we all know the placebo effect. So even if some of that is just what's going on with those people, but a lot of times they're more about spiritual healing also. We think that they're about setting a broken arm. They're not. They're more about possession and spiritual possession and that sort of thing. It's not, again, what you see on television is not a true representation.
But I also think that a lot of people would call witch doctors shamans, right? Because shamans actually work with earth energy, and they work with herbs and plants, and so it's a lot more than just like spiritual guidance being brought to them, but also they're healers as well. So yeah. It's really a holistic kind of approach, right?
Yeah, they work with herbs and naturopathic kind of things. But coincidentally, a lot of people that I met that are drawn to the religion of witchcraft are healers, nurses, and doctors. There are a lot of people drawn to this religion because it is natural and because it is the earth, as opposed to having to go through an intermediary to get to your spirituality. You can get directly. You don't need a priest or a minister or anybody to talk to your God and goddess. Just do
That's
it.
right.
And it's much more your it's who you want to with, and it's, to me, it's much more accepting. We don't judge, because I don't care. If you want to use runes and pray to Thor, that's fine with me. I don't care.
That's your business. That's your thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, coincidentally, I got to tell you, a friend of mine whose daughter and son, or her daughter-in-law and son, just had a baby. They named the baby Thorfinn, and they're going to call him Thor, and they're Jehovah's Witches.
What? That's amazing. That's amazing.
Supposedly, Thorfinn is an angel or something in the Mormon religion, some kind of
That's
prophet
amazing.
thing. I was like, "Well, cool, okay."
I didn't know that.
Neither, but that's what she said.
That's absolutely amazing. So, one of the things I wanted to ask you guys that I forgot to earlier, which is, do you have specific pantheons that you follow? For example, I'm pretty eclectic. Like here, you'll see on my altar on my TV stand, I have my Shiva and Ganesh. And upstairs, you may find my other things like Isis, or you may find my Celtic, or you may find my Hecate, right? So I'm pretty eclectic. In fact, I have Buddhism, and Jesus has been around me lately. So I'm very eclectic in my pantheon, gods, goddesses, whomever, right? So what would you guys call yourselves? Like, do you have a specific pantheon that you follow, or do you think that it is specific for you?
Well, it's always been Kemetic or Egyptian. Kemet is actually the name of Egypt, but I was drawn to that at a very early age, and I've never worked with I mean, well, I tried to. You remember, I tried to be Celtic, and I couldn't remember the names of any of the gods and goddesses. So that's kind of an indication that's not going to work for you. So, but the only thing that I would suggest is if you're doing ritual work, you not mix pantheon. Other than that, worship-wise, worship whoever you feel connected to.
I
would agree.
I tend to agree. I kind of follow more of the chaos path, and so it's working, and things get added in. It's like a house, right? You just keep adding on to the house in different ways, and as you get moved towards different things, and it's usually my mediumship work that draws me into learning about and understanding and become attuned to different pantheons and different ways and different practices, and that then gets incorporated into my own work and my own ritual, and so I'm much happier that way.
I would agree. I mean, I would say the same thing. I love Isis. She's always going to be my core, right? I have cores, and she's going to always be one of my core. Like even Pan has always been one of the gods that's always there for me, especially during the sex magic rituals.
I don't. TMI. TMI.
On the other hand, I'd like to know more.
So listen, so sex magic is huge, but this is the thing: is you may be tapped by somebody that you do not understand. Baphomet came to me, and Baphomet specifically came to me because, Baphomet has been very much labeled as Satan, right? The look of Satan or whatever. Like that's who Baphomet is like the bad guy in Christianity.
Yeah.
But Baphomet is actually about balancing and duality. It's all about femininity and masculinity. And I literally had to have learnings and teachings from Baphomet, which was unbelievable to me because I get nervous and scared of the darker gods and goddesses. But they're like, listen, boom, 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 I'm tapping you. But it was
to work with dark energy because we all have that in ourselves. All these people are always saying, "Oh, I'm a light worker. I'm fluffy bunny." Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay.
They're fluffy bunnies.
I love that so much, the fluffy bunny.
Oh,
But we do. I mean, right? Healing. When we heal somebody, we are taking a living energy and trying to get rid of it, right? Trying to heal the person. There's an energy there that is alive that we are trying to fix, heal, get rid of, etc. Right? Especially in cancer, right? Cancer is a living thing, but we're trying to remove it. That's considered dark magic, right? But the thing
on you, you're killing.
But the thing is we do this work, and sometimes it's shadow work. It's our own stuff that we are needing to deal with. It's the triggers. It's the shit that we need to get rid of from ourselves so that we can grow spiritually and learn more about ourselves. Listen, I'll tell you what. Having sex with yourself as the opposite sex, I recommend it because I was good on both parts.
I may need 6 figures to figure that one out, but I'm not sure. Whatever. I'm not.
It sounds complicated, doesn't it? Like it sounds like there's a lot of like positioning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ted says that his pantheon is Greek gods. I gotta be honest, Ted, that surprises me. Like I would have pegged you for Nordic.
Right.
I would have pegged you for Nordic Viking action. Like I don't even know that I would like if you had said Greek gods to me, I would like okay, I think you're confused.
But this is the thing is
that's good. Like that's
but at any time any other pantheon can tap you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I have a new one that I've been working with, and I told you about that, Lady Boss. Doc, did I tell you? I can't remember.
What
Um,
is it? Maybe you have.
The Morgan.
No, you haven't said that.
Yeah. So, so this is, and sometimes we just don't understand, so we have to learn more about them, right?
I was when I dreamt, I had this very detailed dream about this ritual, and when I told my friend, she goes, "You were initiated into Santeria in your dream." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because she said to me, "How do you know about that ritual? How do you know that? That's never written down. They don't tell people that." She was married to a Babalao, so she knew what it was. And so I went and I had a couple rituals done. They said I was called by this one particular god, and he did come to me. And when I was having a problem, I I went with one of the actual Santorian gods, Obatala, and he came to me in a dream and told me what to do to protect myself from the attack that I was getting. And it was just, yeah, you get called sometimes, and it's just you get what you need. Anyway.
I think a lot of that has to do with like that. I mean, part of that is how we work, like because this work is connected to the earth energies and universe and things like that, and all of these pantheons are so old. Like like these things were here before all things were here, and as we ground and connect to these kind of ancient wisdoms, we're moved in these paths.
Yeah.
Not to get all ancient aliens on people, but like that's to some degree. I mean, that's exactly why we move into those into those places, and the more and more you get, the more that you connect with one area of magic or witchery or pantheon or spiritual work, and you'll start to bleed into these other territories. It's almost like moving around.
Yeah.
And I think that they kind of they're like, okay, what do you think Cindy needs to know now? Yeah. Here, Dwayne, your turn. You're up to bat. Ra, get in there, man. Get in there. Good job. I think that they kind of can work together and just be like, okay, what's necessary? Like we have our little spiritual love team up there going, okay. Something we need right now.
Yeah.
And it can be very specific. I remember the Santeria time frame. I remember that so clearly for you.
And I had a lot of people come to the shop and they would ask me, what they should, and it would come out of my mouth and I don't know where it came from. So it was just like, it was almost like channeling. There's some kind of spirit connection that I have. Well, of course, Santeria is just, it's what the slaves, it's actually Saint Teresa, and it's a combination of African religion and Catholicism because they weren't allowed to practice their African religion when they got here as slaves. So
right.
Egyptian Africa, so kind of followed that another African city would resonate, but I didn't ask for it, and they didn't give me their name in the dream. But when I described what the ritual was, she goes, "Oh, you were initiated into such and such a god," and then I went to a reading with somebody, and it was like, "How come you pledged yourself to this god?" So forth, and I was like, because I would have to go to Cuba to do it, and I'm not going to Cuba, so thank you. It would be too expensive. But yeah, and when they do a ritual, because one of the things in the ritual that I had done was a chicken was killed, and it's very quick, it's very humane, it's probably more humane than anything that we do to get our food. So,
Absolutely. So, white light workers. Listen, magic is white and black, just like life. Nature is not just white; it's both. The earth is both. The universe is both. Witchcraft is both. That's what Teddy says. That's true. That's so true. It's a balance, right? We have to know the balance. Oh, here. Let me see if I can. Can I do this?
What are you doing? I'm seeing the little message.
So there,
I-
there you
I
go.
don't know how to make it. Oh wait, here it goes. I don't know if I want to share the Hail Satan one.
No, I dropped this in there. So like you were talking about Baphomet earlier, and
Yeah.
there was a documentary on Amazon called Hail Satan ? And it's about the American Church of Satan, right? And
Oh,
it's
hey.
super good, but it has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with religion. So
Oh.
that's kind of it is more than anything a social justice movement. But but this is also how Baphomet gets put into gets put into culture and gets put into society as this kind of counterculture
Mhm.
idol and in person. But yeah, if you ever, thank you, Tom, very much.
I'm
If
gonna
you
put
ever
it in
want,
there so everybody can see. Oh wait, hang on.
yeah,
Let me see.
yeah, I mean, if you ever want to watch something, if you ever hear something about the Church of Satan and Satanism in America and all this that documentary is actually
Tom?
a pretty decent documentary on the
Yeah.
social movement of it and in the politics of how that church became in
Oh, yeah.
existence.
If you've ever read anything against he is amazing. He was amazing. I really was depressed when he died before I could meet him because he's an amazing person.
Who did you say was an amazing person?
Guy that founded the Satanic Church of the United
Oh,
States.
Anton LaVey?
His daughter runs it now.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I had to look into that because there were some Satanists in Rochester and they used to come in the shop and all this stuff, and I'd be like, dude, seriously, you're the sweetest person I've ever met. You are the least threatening Satanist. I mean, if you want to be threatening, be Christian. They're threatening.
They are super scary.
Those scary. I mean,
I think any zealot is scary, right?
well, they wear an instrument of death around their neck and they worship it. I'm like, thank God Jesus wasn't electrocuted. You don't have to wear electric chairs around. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, Ted's right. I mean, yeah, I think, I think that, the Church of Satanism or Satanism in general in America is absolutely split in terms of there is some ceremonial religious aspect of it, right? There is that piece of it. Then there is also this social justice piece. But when you look in the news and you see, the Church of Satan wants to erect a statue of Baphomet in front of City Hall, what is that exactly? Is that and what was I found really interesting in the documentary is they go into all these Bible Belt towns because they're the most fun to mess with apparently, but they have all these. They have all the issue really that one of the big kind of flashpoints, inflection points for this was that they were going to these towns that had the 10 Commandments on the city halls or town halls.
Yes.
And they actually explore this, and that it wasn't the city that erected it. It wasn't the city that was like, we're hyper Christian and we want to have the 10 Commandments in our city hall. What it was when the movie The 10 Commandments came out, they bought all these 10 Commandments statues and placed them and gave them to cities and towns all over the country as a promotional to get people in to see the movie. And the towns were well, yeah, of course we want that. That sounds awesome. And so that's the kind. And then it took on any thought form, right? Any thought form, they just put this out there as a marketing blast, but then eventually, right, politicians start to rally around this, and the reality of that fades away into a folklore, and then that folklore becomes kind of an edict that we follow, and that's why it became such a flashpoint, because people are they're against, in the values that they espouse, and at least in this documentary, is that they're not that far off what you would consider mainstream religion. And that's shocking to a lot of people. But really what they're saying is, look, this was a marketing stunt in the 50s and 60s. Get over it.
That's amazing.
Isn't it fun?
Who knew? That's amazing, Doc.
It's just that we take, I mean, saying under God in the Pledge of Allegiance. That's a recent addition, you know. And I always say, which God? And somebody on Facebook said, well, whichever God you worship. I'm like, bullshit. You know damn
Perfect.
well who it's.
So I just said the Pledge of Allegiance, and I said under Goddess, for which it stands. My cousin started giggling. I did it because I wouldn't. Because what I did is I wouldn't say under God, and instead I chose specifically to say under Goddess. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've said the Pledge of Allegiance.
So the goddess is on top, of course, because it's under the goddess. So yeah.
Hi, Bill Davis. Ted says people are assholes.
Yes.
Doc would probably agree with that.
I agree with that entirely. If I have a pantheon, that is the pantheon. People are assholes. I belong to the Church of People Are Assholes. And I live in the state where that church has taken root.
Lord have mercy.
Headquarters. Yeah.
Bill says we are all going to hell. Now,
Probably.
my point, I love that he just brought this up. However, I believe we are already in hell. What is your take?
I am most certainly currently presently living there. It's so much. It's hot.
Yeah.
True.
People are dumb as fuck.
Dumb as fuck.
And they are mean and they are terrible to each other. Yeah, I'm there. The weather's nice.
Yeah.
But
listen.
Right, no, but in terms of hell, right?
No.
I think hell and heaven are simple ways to explain that what goes around comes around, right? It's simple ways to explain to people who don't want to really investigate their own spiritualism. It's a way to very easily say, if you do that, you're going to go to hell. If you do that, you're going to go to heaven. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like trying to explain good and evil to children, right? And I'm not trying to make people feel dumb if they believe that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the concepts of that, right? That's what you get even into Dante's Inferno, where it's the 7 layers of hell. Why are there all these levels of hell?
Right.
Why can't I have my own?
So that's exactly what. But think about it this way. I always was like, I had an ex-boyfriend. He just loved to debate. He was a Gemini, and we would just go back and banter, and we would have these like conversations. Like, can we get to the sex, or do I have to talk you to bed? I'm just curious. Anyway, I literally decided and understood because we were having a conversation about hell. Does hell exist? And I said, my thought process was, because, it's where you feel pain, right? It's where you feel spirit. From what I have gathered in all my knowledge that they have given to me, this is pain. They don't feel what we feel here. They don't feel that. They don't have these different feelings of actual pain, heartbreak, mental pain, right? They don't have that emotional pain. This is the only place so I'm like, this is hell. Welcome to it, right? What do you guys think?
Well, in all of our seances or any time
Hi, Eric.
talk to spirit, have any of them ever said no? As a matter of fact, I had one come and tell her granddaughter, who was upset because she was getting a reading and grandma was very, very Catholic. She said when her grandma came to her and was laughing and said, honey, it's nothing like what they're telling you. So to me, I've had it proven to me that there's no such place as this. I've to dead people who are telling me, no, it's not what they're teaching you. They're wrong. So I'm not going to argue with a dead person.
Right.
And they have to talk to dead people, it's just because they're not paying attention because they're around all the time. and they're in your dreams, and you say, oh, it was just a dream. No, it was grandma coming inside the head. So, you know, want to acknowledge that, fine, but to me, it's been proven that there's no such place that we get where we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bill is in the chat and he says, guessing you'll go to whatever afterlife you believe you're going to go to. And that,
Yes.
whatever. Yeah. I just killed a bug on Doc's face.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's okay, Dad. I'm thankful you got the bug. I'm really.
You're getting that karma back. You're getting that.
I warned, and then I warned it 3
I
times.
warned it 3 times.
And then I hit him.
And then I knocked his lights out.
That's all right.
And
I
his
probably
guts.
deserve that. I probably deserve that. That's
I'm going to put you outside, and if I see you more than once and you are threatening me, then I may swat you. But I try to put spiders outside unless they're really, really big. So.
Oh, and Doc has lots of big spiders down there. Oh, creepy spiders.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
But the exterminator comes Tuesday, so that's all right.
Yeah. I can remember going to Florida and they're like, oh, banana spiders. And you're like, oh, that sounds super cute, right? They are these ginormous yellow spiders that are like, will take your limbs off.
It seems like that. Yeah, I haven't seen a banana spider yet. But
Oh my God. I like,
haven't really seen that many spiders where I live. Today, like this week's been the first kind of a couple periodically, but there's other terrible things. It's not that they're terrible, right? You get used to any environment, right?
yeah. Palmetto bug? No.
No.
Oh, we had a
Big flying cockroaches? No.
Yeah. Oh, they're fun though. They're hysterical. They chase you. Okay, they are not afraid of you. I moved my husband's work boots when we lived in the trailer around the house. I tried to feed myself. I'm like, what is it going to do if it catches me? You know.
Right.
Oh, they're terrifying. Okay, Eric Harrison. Eric says, question, do you think you are immediately transferred over to the afterlife, or is there like a waiting period?
Like Beetlejuice?
Yes.
No. Period. Your grasp where you are, so it's not so much that it's happening to you. You're in charge of that, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember when Charlotte, the girl at the shop, when she was murdered? She didn't realize she was gone for about a week. Okay, and then all of a sudden she went to the other side because she came to the shop and wanted to help, and I'm like, babe, I'd love for you to help, but nobody can see you, so you know.
And I have gotten a lot of times with suicides, people that will commit suicide, they believe because of what they've been ingrained in here, they believe that they can't go to the other side. So how many of you guys, how many of us have had people that are suicides and they think they can't move on because they've taken their own life?
Yeah, we've had that a lot. Yep.
And it's unfortunate, right? Because the dogma that's imparted into so many people, and it's really nothing to do with dogma. Hence the reason why Jesus came to me.
Yeah. There's a lot of guilt. Well, that's how they try to control people, is with guilt. You know.
Bill Davis. Listen, just so you guys all know, Cindy is correct as usual.
There's no point in continuing this conversation.
We're done.
It's all over now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get people who like I can certainly understand that, right? Because I get people who feel like they haven't crossed over, and a lot of it is an attachment to something that they did incorrect according to their moral standard, whatever that might be. It's not something I really give it a lot of thought about. But what I know is I don't get a lot of the freshly dead.
Don't get a lot of the what?
The freshly dead.
The freshly dead. I have gotten a lot of freshly dead lately.
To paraphrase Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But like I don't get a lot of. If I do, it's pretty weird energy. Like it's very weird energy. But most of the time I talk about that like with people. They're like, oh my goldfish just died last week. Do you think you can get me a message? And I'm willing to always give it a shot, but it's very rare, I think, that I get that. And I think mostly because they are figuring out where they want to go.
Right.
That said, I do a fair amount. Unfortunate, I don't do as much today as I did when I was living up north, but death counseling, like making deals with the dead for families and kind of talking them through that energetic process and what that means and creating those kind of situations. So I can do real well when they're partly dead, mostly dead. Like I can do that real well, but I don't know where they go, and I don't think they go to heaven or hell, and I think people don't even want to know that. They want to know, are they okay? Did they, they want to, they want to break, they want to closure on some of the moral issues that they had in this life with that person. So.
Right. I just feel like it's another dimension, right? That's just how I always see it or feel.
Dimensions. I want to talk about dimensions. Can we talk about dimensions?
Oh, she said the D word, and she wasn't talking about a dick.
This time.
This time. Let's be clear, not this time. Bye, Teddy Poo Poo.
Oh my goodness.
Bye, Ted.
So I just had a question and it flew out of my head again.
No what, Julia?
There's a question about sexual ghosts.
What was there really?
I gotta scroll up a little bit.
Mosquitoes are our state bird. A bird spider is much, much bigger. Listen, that's terrifying.
No, I'm not getting down with spiders.
Oh my.
Hi. Oh, can a ghost be sexual? And Scott Maloney.
Yes.
Why couldn't they?
I'm hoping I'll be.
You can't go until after I'm gone. God. Maybe I'll come to you, Doc.
Maybe. All right.
Well, all right. All right.
Yeah. So Ted and I are having a side conversation.
Oh, really?
And I
What
can't
did
comment
say?
in the chat. Tuesday might be okay, Ted. I got my show at 9:00 on Tuesdays, but let's connect and I'll connect with you and we'll figure it out. All right.
Teddy,
So
stop trying to get people on my show.
Right. But I'm here to pay attention to Cindy's needs right now. All right. So
Please do. I mean, please remember that. I mean, yes.
remember, focus. We need to be. So the question really, Bill's kind of asking about this kind of incubus succubus thing, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Although I'm not terribly sure I ascribe to the incubus succubus thing, but I don't see why.
Yeah.
I don't see why ghosts can't be sexual. I don't see why. I mean, they were people.
Right.
Presumably they were sexual once in their life while they were people.
Right.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know about the incubus and succubus. I don't like, I'm out on that, right? The jury is out on that. I haven't made up my mind.
There was a woman that came in the shop when I first opened it, and there was a spirit that would not let her have a human or a physical relationship with a man because he was having a physical sexual relationship with her in spirit, and we had to get rid of that spirit. So that can happen. It's very rare though. That's rare. It was something with another life. So.
Right. Holy shit. Listen, I have seen that. I call it cock blocker energy.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely get that going. Yeah.
So there's also like people that are here and their people are still here, but it could be an ex, right? That is still in human form, but they can totally have cock blocker energy and totally surround this person with cock blocking energy. And it can be done in spirit as well.
Yeah.
We all three understand that, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Now that you kind of explained that a little bit, I have a person that I worked with for a long time, and their ex was in spirit, and he was evil incarnate here, evil incarnate there, and at any point when in her new life that she started to approach romantic interest, which took a lot, right? Because he was a pretty shitty guy,
right?
And I'm not going to give him a lot of voice here, but anytime that she started to kind of move past that trauma, he would rear his bullshit, and it would essentially block her in some powerful way.
Right.
So I certainly can say that, but like the incubus succubus thing, right? Especially right now, like that's been in the news lately.
Yeah.
Oh, has it?
There's some. Yeah, we can talk. I'm not gonna. We won't talk about it on the show, but it was kind of a crazy thing a couple weeks ago, and somebody's rage tweeting. So
really,
it was kind of a crazy thing. But like,
so how did you?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Doc. How did you handle that with this woman? Like, I mean,
a lot of protection. It was
yeah,
a lot of. It's a lot
that's
of
what I was hoping you were going to say.
And it's a lot of attachment. It's a lot of protection work. It's a lot of attachment work.
Exactly.
And it's a lot
warding.
Warding off, and and it looks a lot like invisibility. When we talk about invisibility, please don't think that I can make people invisible, right? That's right. But I can try, and we're talking about kind of like spiritually invisible. So to speak, like unnoticed, I guess is maybe a better word to say it. So working with her on that, and then turning around and kind of breaking some of those traumas and triggers, and those are some of the things that you need, because you're working on that person. So you gotta first break the shit they're going through, and then you gotta start to heal the shit they went through, and so that's some of the work that we did.
Right.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Absolutely. So since we were even talking about protection, you guys, how do you feel about protective magic?
It works.
I believe it's like fully necessary for us, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. I'm not. There's not even a debate on this for me. Like,
right.
I get criticized for it, but for not being protective enough. But.
Well, I think it's also what we like. I just spirit has me on lockdown is how I say it. Like, I just know I'm on lockdown, and if something or someone gets through me being on lockdown, then there's a reason for it, right? If I haven't, like, if I'm not doing a specific reading, or if I'm at Walmart, for instance, right? There's obviously a reason, and my people believe that I need to give this message out. But I firmly believe in being protected and fully, like, I got my shit on.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Like, I'm spiritually strapped, I feel, right? Like, some people need their guns here, like a real gun. Yeah. But me, I'm spiritually strapped. I got my, like, ammo. Right?
Your magic is very comical. Living out loud over here.
Oh my God.
It's so fun to think about that.
It is. So you were talking about
St. Michael, like boom.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, if we could do like think about the anime and stuff like that. Like, who is it that Jansen and Jet love? Oh my gosh. What the hell? They're going to be so mad at me. Kami. Instead, it's like, St. Michael. Right. That would be amazing.
That's fun.
Yeah. Be fun.
It would be fun. Like, I wish we need to harness that shit. I'm gonna work on that. Okay, do you guys have a favorite type of spell work to do? I mean, we were talking about sex magic, but like, is there a favorite that you are drawn to?
Not really. I don't really do a whole lot of what you would call formal magic. I just try to manifest things mentally, visualize it and whatever. I don't do a whole lot of real big deal ritual stuff. I've never really had to. I what I ask for because I get it. So
Right.
I have to be more careful that way.
Right.
Special.
Me too.
Right. Sometimes. You get a little carried away. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting down and concocting, I'm not kind of creating, I'm creating a ritual. A lot of it is intentions and manifestations.
Right.
That said, I do sigil work, and I'll sit down and I'll work on sigils and do that kind of work, and create them for myself or for situations that we're facing. And then sex magic's good.
It's always
That's
good.
always
And that's when I get carried away.
Right.
That's when I lose a little bit of
Sex
composure.
form. That's the best.
Wait, what did you say?
Sex magic during thunderstorms. That's the best.
Yes. The power, like there's so much goddamn power during the thunder and lightning storm, and then you fucking add sex magic on top of it. I need a shower.
Not in a thunderstorm. You're not supposed to shower.
Right, I'll just go outside. No, don't do that.
Might be
Don't
safer.
give outside. Yeah.
Oh, Bill says he's having a thunderstorm right now.
Well,
Hi, Jen Ronaletta Ding Dong. Hi, Kathy DeGraw. Eric, have a good night, sweetie.
My phone's gonna die soon.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Lady Bust, for being here.
It was awesome to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Mystical. Although I think I've met you before some point.
We may have. I used to travel in circles up there.
Yeah.
I saw you or something. So, yep. Well,
so can I tell what the name of your shop was, Lady Bust?
Yeah.
So our favorite shop here in Rochester was Psychic's Time. And you guys, I know, have heard me talk about Psychic's Time a lot because me and my friend miss Shar and her Psychic's Time immensely. And there's nothing like it. Shar was in business before she sold her business. She was there for 21 years?
Wow.
Years. Yep.
And that's huge for a magical shop, right? Is that what it was? 21 years? Or is it more than that?
21.
And then
Had it, yeah. She only had it about 6 or 8 months and drove it into the ground, so that was the end of that.
Yeah. And it was hard for all of us, especially in the witch community, because Shar had been such a pillar here. And it was devastating to us when we no longer had Shar and we no longer had Psychic's Time. Because at least if we didn't have Shar, we could go to the shop and do something. So it's been one of those things that was really tough for us around here. And I'm certain it was tough for Shar too to retire.
It still is hard because I'm more than a shop. We were a place for the community to gather, and you lost
right.
that. First about is the shop part was the shop part, but when we did open circles and had rituals and stuff, I mean, to me that was what I was supposed to be doing, and now there's nothing like that up there at all. Like the stores, but a store is a store.
And that's the thing is, Shar always had, the community was very open. We could go in every month that there was a Sabbat and we were doing ritual together. And listen, how many times did we have two little boys running around that circle?
Well,
And my daughter too. Say that again?
until we found out that the Thorazine would kick in time for them to just chill,
Yes.
So.
Hysterical.
Well,
Yes.
you guys take
So,
talk to you soon.
I love you so much. Mwah. Thank you so much for coming on, Shar. I love you, Lady Bast.
Bye.
So you guys, Shar, if you
Looks like
just
she's
hit
still
the
here.
leave studio, then it'll take you out of there too. Or can I do? I can do that. There we go.
She's free.
What's that, Doc?
Now she's free.
She's free. So what in Magick or Wicca or Witchcraft, what would you like everybody to know?
Well, I think
Wait, are you a warlock? First of all, please, are you a warlock?
Do you want me to be a warlock? I'll be a warlock too.
I mean, no.
I don't
because-
know. I consider myself a magician. Magic with a K, right? That's
Yes.
that's kind of where I'm comfortable with and talking about the work as magic is
Right.
in that regard. And I think if kind of what I want people to know about it is that I think that it's really a personal thing, and I really want people to kind of to recognize that magic, and whether it's Wicca or spiritualism or paganism or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
whatever pantheon you're into, all these things, when you really start to peel apart the workings of the Catholic Church, for example, or formal religions, you start to understand that these things are the roots, the fundamentals of
Right.
all of those things.
Right.
And in times where we're seeing in witchcraft, we're seeing an uptick in the generation that's younger than I am, in adopting witchcraft and magic as their spiritual center. And part of that is because it is so it's not saying anti-establishment, but it's pretty anti-establishment.
Right.
It's just not pro-establishment. Like,
And there's not a lot of dogma, right?
right. In the dogma is very inclusive, right? It's very,
Right.
I'm very interested in learning this spell work from you. And so you and I are going to talk about that, and I'm going to play with it, and you're going to help me. And there's
Right.
something that I'm doing that you're interested in, and we're going to kind of build that together. And then, like we both talk about on our shows, this is a judgment-free zone. Like,
Right.
What you do is your business. So long as you're not hurting yourself or others, I don't
Right.
care.
Right.
And I'm really interested in the kind of intersectionalities between different styles. And I think that for people who are, I think the other thing for me for a long time, I was worried that like an imposter syndrome. One, because I went to a church and
Yes.
God,
Ugh. Me too.
right? It's like, and
Char
it's not
too.
that, it's not that the rituals and the ceremonies and the manifestations we don't have structure. They have structure. There's our structure and
Right.
our time. And but what I think so there was a little bit of that, but there's also this kind of myth around it of you need to know absolutely everything about this particular zone of magic, and until you do, you're a fraud. And I think that letting people go, letting people need to know that they can start anywhere they want in magic, whatever interests them. If tarot's your magic, then that's your magic. If it's
Exactly.
mediumship or Reiki or sigil or sex magic, like, look, if you're gonna start in a place, start with sex magic. Like, just do it.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Like
Yeah.
you're already doing it. So just
Right.
so
If you
want
are
an
already
easy-
masturbating, you are. Don't try to lie
Right.
to us.
just set an
Just-
intention to that.
Exactly.
Now,
When you're about to climax, when you are
Make
making
a wish.
yourself feel super good,
make a wish.
just know, trust, and believe that the intentions you're putting out to the universe is like magnified, and that energy is going out there and it'll be returned to you.
That's right.
That's all.
Although I was watching, I think a lot of people can easily start there. And I was listening to a podcast a couple of months ago or a year ago. I don't know anymore. Time for me is a flat
It's
circle.
It's crazy,
anymore.
right?
It's time. I don't even know what day it is. Like I was like, is it? I think I told you earlier today. But like one of them was like, the question was, do you still practice sex magic? And the guy's like, well, whenever I want to wank, I do. Yeah, like so. I get it, right? I get it. I understand. It always starts with sex magic.
Always start with sex magic.
Finish too. Like, don't just
Right. Come on, you gotta finish too.
Otherwise, it's like setting up the altar but not praying at it. So, like that's. But I mean, I think what I want people to know about magic and about witchcraft is you can start anywhere you want.
I agree.
And whatever interests you, if you hit it and you're like, this is. Like if you're like, I really want to get into plant magic and hedge witch, and you get into it and you're like, oh, fuck this. This is too many trees, too many plants, too many herbs. I can't figure it out. That's cool. Don't hit it. Like, back up, go to another direction.
Reverse.
Right? And
Right.
I think that's okay. I think, and then, and if you're confused about it, if you're confused about where to go or what to do, or you just need a sounding board, these are places where you should reach out to like Psychic Cindy or me or find your local spirit shop and walk in. I've not known a single spirit shop in all of my work that I've not been in that room where they've said, someone's walked in and says, I don't really know what's going on, but I'm interested in, and they're like, okay, here's 52 different things we can get you started in, and here's the one you should try.
Exactly.
And so there's a community that is inclusive, that is welcoming, that is diverse, that is anti-hate, and that wants you to come in, and also understand that what you believe might not be what other people believe.
Right,
Like
absolutely, and that's okay. It's okay.
Right. There's just shit I cannot believe. Like there's like things that people, and I'm not going to get into because I don't want to disparage anybody, but there are things that people do and that are so common, and I'm like, look, man, I can't. That's where I draw my line. I know it's weird, but that's where I draw my magical line for now.
Right.
Like I can't. There's some things I just like. No.
Well, if you don't finish, it doesn't work. So true, right?
So true.
Especially in sex magic. If you do not finish your orgasm, you just left your intention hanging there. What in the fuck?
Literally.
It's like it was on the cliff, it was going out to the universe, and now it's just hanging there. It's like, you can't leave me hanging.
So Elizabeth is asking, can we talk about the 3 times rule? There you go.
Yes. Yep. The 3-fold rule. I call it the 10-fold rule. And how would you like to handle it?
You handle it. That's how I want to handle it.
Okay, well, the 3-fold rule is that whatever you put out into the universe, positive, negative, you get returned to you 3 times or 3-fold. So it is all about what you're putting out there, what is your intention, and what is it that you're trying to receive back, because whatever that intention you're putting out there, for example, if you're doing a binding on somebody, do you think that doing that binding will not also include binding yourself? Because it does. If you do not want to be bound with the things that you're trying to do a binding on, do not do that spell work, because you will find yourself in the same situation. For example, I had somebody that came to me and said, well, I'm binding a pedophile. Okay, well, as long as you understand you're binding yourself in that same thing, and if that's not something you're interested in, that's fine because it will bind you in that area as well, right?
That's right.
All cool. Cool.
And there's other ways to address transgressions like that in magic,
Right.
That are not like, it's not to say, look, let me be expressly clear. That is
Yes.
absolutely horridly, fundamentally evil and wrong, and I am not in any way trying to back off that. What I think a lot of people do in situations like that, and in many others that are to a far lesser degree evil, is that they look and they're like, they're not empowered themselves,
Right.
to like, the magic needs to be on you. You are empowered to do things in your life, and some of that magic can go to remove the, like, so, right, these evil criminals, right, hide behind veils,
Correct.
and some of your magic can be to remove those veils.
I think that is the best way to address it.
Right, and protect yourself, right? So
Right.
and I've done some of that magic in my own life where somebody was not in that way, someone was transgressing against me and mine, and I'm not going to go out, I'm not taking vengeance upon, I'm protecting myself, I'm identifying my oppressor, and I'm making sure the universe knows that. And then what happened, and now I also accept the threefold rule. So I know that if I cross that line, I just have to make a choice. Am I willing to accept that? Is that the payment I want to make? And if it is, then let's go and let's play. But I really do, I feel empowered. I feel empowered to do the magic on myself and my environment and my situation, and I feel empowered to control that when other people are oppressing it and transgressing it, and I can put that magic. And it's not psychic. You hear a lot of people psychic warfare and psychic attacks, and I think that I don't know. I that may exist. It's totally possible. And I
haven't been involved.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that, and I do think people do attachments, but I think that when they feel those things, man, those people are shitty people. They're attacking you in real life too.
Right.
And so I think that to some degree, that's, the threefold rule is an important rule to understand because, and it's the thing we were taught in kindergarten, right? When you point at somebody,
there's three pointing back at you.
And so that is, that's kind of what, and it's okay if you're willing to accept that payment, right? It's willing, if you're willing to, if this is what you want to put in the universe, and you're willing to accept the payment and understand that it's there, right? Then those are some of the things that Lakin's one of our moderators extraordinary.
Yes, I remember.
So
she moderates for Doc on his show, and she's like, it's like hitting a sad brick wall.
That's right. I mean, sometimes that happens.
It does.
Sometimes, the door opens or whatever. And so, right. So, but, I think when people think about doing spell work and magic work and intentions and manifestations and whatever they need to do, I don't think you need to put that on another person. You can put it on a situation. You can put it on yourself.
Right.
But you should feel empowered to take action in your own life. And that can have an effect on people who are transgressing you in whatever way that manifests. Like I'm not saying that guy can't leave his house. I'm just saying he hasn't. I'm just saying there's a bubble. I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying.
And that bubble was to protect me.
Right.
That was my deal. That was what I did for myself. It was bigger than maybe it needed to be. That's okay.
Right. And I think there's I think that's a great way to put it. I love how you just expressed it. Seriously.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously, because some people think it's an all or nothing, right? It's this way or that way. There's no gray matter.
That's right.
But that is the gray matter that you just explained.
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's it. I mean, it's, and you hear it all over, right? You hear it when they go low, you go high, and, take the higher road. These things, these messages, these sayings are about you being empowered to take action in your own life, in your own magic, in your own workings.
Right.
That magic, you should use that magic to protect you from people who are transgressing.
I agree.
You should.
Yeah. I remember that I suddenly found, I call them thorns in my side.
Mhm.
I'd been having a lot of stomach issues, and all of a sudden, I don't know what I hadn't seen them before. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I became psychically aware that I had a piece of wood in my side. And people are like you had a piece of, well, psychically, yes, it was there. I suddenly became aware of it. Things had shifted somehow. I saw 7. It was 7 that I pulled out of me.
Mhm.
And I say thorns, it was like splinters of wood.
Yeah.
They were huge and long. And I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I guess you want your shit back, because first of all, for you to do this to me, I don't ever do anything to harm anybody else, right?
Right.
And for somebody to blatantly try to inflict damage on my business, my psychic business,
Yeah.
myself, my health, my well-being, I'm like, whatever you just put out to me, you can have threefold back. And I literally allowed it to return to them.
Yeah.
And I then shielded myself again,
That's
mirrored myself.
Yeah, and oftentimes when
sometimes-
that stuff happens, it's that again, that's magic you did for you. You didn't
Right.
put it back out on them. You identified it. You identified your oppressor. You identified what was happening. You took care of it, and that is what kind of triggers the transgressor to receive what they've got coming.
Right.
You can manipulate the situation, right? I mean, that's the point of small magic, is to manipulate, not manipulate, but to alter the situation and the awarenesses and the perceptions and the
Right.
activities and the behaviors of yourself and how other
Right.
people operate in that situation.
When you realize that somebody has stepped over a boundary, you are allowed to
Yeah,
take things into your own hands how you see fit, right?
that's right. That's right.
I
That's
chose not to go and take a bat and beat the shit out of them, right?
right. Even though
I
that's what you
chose
thought about.
not to. What did you say?
Even though that's what you thought about doing.
I mean, it could have been.
Fantasies
I mean, it
are
was
okay.
just another piece of wood for a piece of wood, right?
That's right. Fantasies are okay.
But it's that what you feel comfortable with, but you should be allowed to, that energy should be returned. You
Yeah.
remove it from yourself and you allow it to be returned to where,
That's right.
from whence it came. That's
right.
I love
And it's
that
where-
saying. That's
yeah.
from whence it came.
That's right. And that's very much like let go, let God, all these things.
Yes.
Those are the things that, look, people are shitty, right? People are shitty people, and people in the spiritual world are shitty people too, right? We're all people. So there, every circle's got a shitty person. And so,
Yeah.
there are people who are going to wish us harm, and there are people who are going to wish us ill.
Right.
And there are going to people who are going to do those things. It's our job, right, to take the, like Elizabeth says, I've prayed for forgiveness. But yeah, absolutely. You need yes, forgive yourself too. Yes, exactly. But also pray for the healing from what that situation happened, and pray for the protection that it doesn't happen again. So I think that's what helps change the situation, because it heightens
Right.
your awareness of what this other person is capable of doing.
Right. Yeah. So the other thing with forgiveness is I had to forgive the other person so I could forgive myself.
Right.
And because it's just, I just didn't want to hold on to the anger anymore, right?
That's right. That's right. That's their bad magic, right?
Right. Absolutely. And I didn't need to hold that and make it mine. Right? Yeah.
They live in your head.
Right. Exactly. And then if I'm giving them power, I'm giving my power over to them. And that's not cool either.
That's right.
There's always the visual of sex magic too. A taper candle, a cauldron, exactly. Written intention, carved sigils or sigils in the candle. Absolutely.
I'm team sigil. You can be.
Yeah.
Sigil.
No, and I always had sigil. I always learned it as sigil. It was not just that long ago that I heard sigil, and I'm like, what the fuck is a sigil? And I'm like, oh, they're just saying it with a Different
With
G
the-
sound.
with
I'm
the
saying it
soft
the
G.
hard, and they're saying it with the soft.
Yeah.
I like the hard, baby.
Don't we all?
so,
So,
so I have one
but
more.
I'm getting older, so.
So I have one more question.
Ask away, fire away.
So the one last question I would like to leave everybody with is because a lot of times this is like one of the first questions that I hear. Can I do magic for myself? AKA, can I do money magic for myself?
Yes.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
always
it's
work
the
for
law of
myself.
attraction, right? I mean, that's
It
where,
is.
I mean, if you're curious about money magic and things like that, absolutely. It's a law of attraction. It's what you put into the world. What, you know, so one of the people that I really look up to in the spiritual world is a guy named Tommy Kelly. He's a creator of the 40 Servants and a tarot or a divination deck and magic system that kind of blew the doors off my practice. And he's so generous of spirit, and he's such a wonderful magician in his own right. And I love watching how he goes. And kind of one of the things he talks about in terms of doing magic is the magic can do the magic, do the work too, right? All magic doesn't excuse your active participation in your life and in your world.
Right.
If you want to make more money, you can do a magic spell, but then if you don't do anything, that magic is probably not going to work.
Right.
It's all about increasing the odds.
Yeah.
And so the law of attraction, right? Put out into the world what you want. If you want money, put money out, right? It's like, think about the hospitality business, right? There's a pool of money. So within the hospitality world, there's a pool of tip money that just circulates and circulates amongst all servers, right?
Right.
And bartenders and things like that. It's the same money. It's the law of attraction. If I get a $10 tip, I tip that guy $10, right? It's the law of attraction. And so, so I think putting out in the world. So can you do money magic for yourself? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't start with, can I win the Powerball?
Right.
Maybe you start with maybe something a little smaller, right? Work your way up.
One thing that I say is I hand it over to spirit, to be honest. Like, if I'm having financial problems, I say, I can't carry this anymore. I need your help.
Right.
Because then I no longer have that stress and that worry, right? Because I'm blocking myself. I've created this air of negativity,
That's
right?
Right.
So now I have turned it over to spirit and said, okay, I can't do this. I need you to help me. How are we going to make this happen? So I've come back to a place of centeredness and groundedness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I can allow thoughts and creativity and all of this stuff to stream forward, but I still have to produce what I need to produce, right?
That's right.
But they can bring opportunities to me, right?
That's right.
That I didn't have
and you're
any foresight.
and you're more ready for it, right?
Exactly.
You're doing that work, which is what we talked about earlier with witch doctors and kind of preparing the body to be more ready for healing.
Exactly.
Same thing. It's all about being cool, man. Just be cool.
Just be cool.
Just be cool.
Just be cool, man.
About it.
Exactly.
Don't get all bunched up about it. Do money magic, right? I don't do a tremendous amount of money magic. Maybe I should. I don't know.
There's oh gosh, Jason, I cannot think of his last name right at the moment. He has an amazing financial book on spell work. Amazing. Smack me on the left cheek, I will smash you on the right.
Poor Bill.
Bill. Silly.
Poor Bill, you're being silly. He's being silly. That's a lot of venom to carry around, right? That's the thing that interferes with your magic, right? Your magic can be clouded just like anything else. If you're having a bad day, if you're in a bad mood, if you just watch the news or you just read Twitter and you're all pissed off, that's probably not the time to sit down and do some spiritual work.
Right, I agree. If I have a specific person in my mind, but I have a heavy Venus love spell that I want to do, and I'm like, okay, I need to do my love spell. And like, oh, well, I can't do it right now because I know I won't stop thinking about this person.
That's right. Yeah. Like,
you can't
yeah,
do that.
That's right. You
At
gotta
least
do
I
that.
can't do that for myself,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that.
I can't do that. I can't. But or love spells. I always say be careful what you wish for. I love it. You just might get it plus
Right.
triple. Yes,
Right.
you didn't.
That's right. I want them to take care of me, and turns out they're a psycho control freak. Whoopsies.
Didn't see that coming.
Right. It's always just the pendulum just swings a little bit further than you think it's going to swing, and so yeah, you need to be careful about that stuff.
You
right.
really do.
And to some degree, that the threefold rule is what Hollywood is kind of zipped in on, because they're like you can love like. A lot of movies are based on that, right? You create a thing, and then that thing becomes the blob, and the blob kind of eats the town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get it? It's bad.
The Craft, Practical Magic, all of those, right?
That's right. Bill says it's bad to investigate the paranormal when you're in a bad mood too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is the thing is, I mean, even something as little as how your energy and vibration are before starting. And that's why I will start myself on these. Like if I'm like feeling a little off, even for just doing my podcast, you guys saw that I put my sprays on because I'm like, whoo, I need a little something.
She wet herself down for us. If you weren't here at the beginning,
I sprayed myself.
Full on.
I showered in front of you.
It was full on pour some sugar on me video.
Yes.
It was like Flashdance or whatever the movie was.
Right.
She's all like
and then I started dancing and singing. It was amazing. You missed it. I'm sorry.
It was amazing. And if you go back and watch the video again and you don't see it, you should watch it again.
Again.
Yes, because if it was good the first time, it's probably going to be good for the second 20 times.
And do your spell magic while you're at it. Your sex magic.
That's right. I don't know what. She's streaming to a different platform now. So
so funny. That spray is huge. Yes, it is. It's amazing. Listen, Doc, you know I love you so much. I appreciate you so much.
Well, I'm
your
so happy
knowledge.
You asked me to come on.
Yeah, it's I really feel that you have so much knowledge to share, and I am indebted, right?
Artist.
I firmly believe that. What did you say?
I said I'm a confident bullshit artist.
That's chaos magic. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah, no, it is. That's chaos. You're like, you like hit, oh, no, I intended for that to happen. That was chaos magic. I'm not.
That's exactly what I had anticipated.
That's right. That's exactly. Totally under control.
Oh, God. Or maybe laying in my bed, sex magicking.
Right. It doesn't always got to be full, you don't have to be walking around.
No.
That's when sex magic gets you arrested. That's
so true.
Arrested magic.
Yes. Arrested magic.
But a nice altar setting, some good intentions, some good wishes, good visualizations, and you're in business.
Super good visualizations.
You got all the magic you want. But as our friend Kathy said, you don't always have to bring the physical body into the sex magic. You can
That's right.
Absolutely symbolically represent sex magic. So if you're
absolutely.
And there's lots of people. One of the people I follow on Instagram, Witch at the Beach, does genitalia candles, right? So if you wanted to do I'm not going to be able to do sex magic in the goddess form, right? So I'm going to need to create that symbolically so people can do those sorts of things. Absolutely.
But you have to remember that you are the goddess and you are the god.
Yeah. No. Right. But sometimes I just want to.
Sometimes while I got my dick in my hand, I can't.
Just need.
I can't be the goddess.
I just need a special candle. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
It's nice to have an altar to pray on.
Exactly.
Right.
I agree.
Yes, right. Right? I mean, that's all part of the deal. Have you seen? We're gonna go way over here, but so like,
I'm okay with it.
It's okay. Have you seen? There was a movie or a television series. It's been canceled now, called Strange Angel.
No.
Yeah, you should check it out. First, it's basically the story of it's the story of shit, I just forgot his name. Like, its name was like there, and then it was like poof, gone.
See, it's not just me today.
Right. Yeah, it's been a weird day. I'll go look it up, and then I'll know, and then I'll sound like I'm all fucking Jack Parsons. So it's a story of Jack Parsons, and Jack Parsons is a real person. And the story is dramatized, obviously, but what he did was.
Is it based on a true thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So Jack Parsons was in the history of modern rocketry, right? So rockets, missiles, things like pre-World War II, right? We're talking about Jack Parsons. Was an entrepreneur. He was interested in rockets. He wasn't a trained chemist or anything like that. But he's one of you'd call him self-taught man. This is the bullshit of the current world. But then he got himself. He's interested in creating this rocket world. But then he starts getting into Thelema, and he starts getting into the magic of Thelema, and that's real. Like, in his real life, he started to get into, and so they do a nice little. It's a very graphic but enjoyable depiction of sex magic.
Where do I find it? Like, where was it?
Where can you find Strange? It was on CBS All Access.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's where you'd find it.
Strange Angel.
Yeah, Strange Angel, and they only did 2. There's they're going into some altar situations.
There is. Well, Bill Davis is hysterical. The blind guys are good at physical sex magic. The altar should be good and sturdy. And Lakin says there's more than one altar.
Yeah, well, that's all right. That's all right. As long as all the altars know.
Right.
And the story of Jack Parsons is really interesting in general anyway, but like it started, the series has ended because it didn't get renewed. Apparently a lot of praying on the altars of the goddess, and it pissed him off. But it's cool shit. It was a cool story. Very, very strange story. But Jack Parsons is a real guy. He was a real rocketeer. He was a real magician. He really used these things. He really did meet Aleister Crowley. It gets into some like the Aleister Crowley stuff and Thelema, and it starts at the end of the second.
Wait, what are you saying? Lima?
Thelema.
Oh, Thelema.
Themela. What?
I don't know. What is it? What are you talking about? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Thelema. It's Aleister Crowley stuff.
Oh, okay. So remember when I was saying earlier, I'm like, well, I don't know. But when we were talking about
occult or spiritual philosophy developed in the early 1900s by Aleister Crowley.
So remember we were talking about the sacrificing, and I'm like, I don't know. There are some people in.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Right. The Thoth. Aleister Crowley then in the Thoth.
Yeah, it was. I don't know about you, Doc, but when I first got this deck, they're like, okay, you got to put it under your pillow and you got to sleep with it for 7 days, for a full week. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this so you can get acclimated and get to know your deck.
Right.
Oh, I got to know this deck.
Do you really sleep with your decks?
This one I did. This one and my there's only 2 that I've ever slept with, and they were polar opposites. So this deck I had nothing but murderous, killing, bloodthirsty dreams that I've ever had in my entire life. I do not recommend anybody ever putting this deck under their pillow and sleeping with it.
I'm buying it and doing it. I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, you can certainly try, and I've done it twice with this because I didn't know and realize that it was the deck that created these terrible nightmares, and I literally did it a second time on my way. So I was getting ready for
you should always try things twice.
Right. I was on my way to a trip to Florida.
That'll teach you.
That'll teach me.
That's why you had bad dreams.
And I had the same exact kind of dreams. I can use this deck. We have an understanding. We are actually, they read quite well for me, but I will never sleep with them again. What was the other one? Let me see if I
have too many tarot decks.
Right here. Mythic Tarot.
Oh, okay.
Mythic Tarot was my other deck both of these decks literally came to me. They followed me every place I went. I got this one at a bookshop, followed me every place. And I used to do estate sales, and there was this wooden box that had some brass inlay. And this wooden box was every place that I kept going. And my friend Andy, he knew that because when this happened, when I was on my way to Florida, I'm like, okay, if you don't want me using this deck, you have to hit me over the head with it.
And it did.
I get to Florida, and my aunt had gone to a psychic here, and she's like, oh, by the way, and don't use the cards. I about fell off my goddamn chair, right?
But people have that experience with Aleister Crowley stuff. I mean, Aleister Crowley got it. I mean, this isn't an area I necessarily have done a lot of research in, so I'll probably piss off people who have, but like some of what I've read about Aleister Crowley is he was into some pretty
dark
wild
shit
stuff, and there's also like a whole line of Aleister Crowley stories about how he was essentially using magic to manipulate women to have sex with them.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of kind of madness around Crowley and things like that, and so. That's interesting. I have tarot decks that speak to me. The 40 Servants is the first deck really ever.
I haven't. I want to look at that one because I think I watched your video on 40 Servants. Yeah, but I'm interested in
homage. I keep paying homage to the servants. But so my story with the servants was a friend of mine. She has a pseudonym that she goes by, Anna Divina. So a friend of mine, I was in a show in Cleveland, and Anna Divina came up to me and she's like, "Doc, you gotta check out the 40 Servants, man. You gotta check them out." And I'm in a show, and it's.
And how long ago was this?
This was probably like 2017. Oh wow. 2017. So not terrible. I'd have to go back and take a look. I mean, it was a long time ago. Seemingly, right? Because time doesn't really have,
right?
It's all or nothing in time with me anymore. And so, she's like, "You got to check it out," And I said, "Oh, do you have it with you?" And she's like, "No, I don't have it with me." I was like, "Well, fuck."
Hi, Jacob.
Like, fuck. She's like, "But this deck, I know. I use the deck, and I know you're gonna love this deck." And I was like, "All right, and I'll check it out." I went back to the hotel that night, and I had a dream about the servants. Like, I had a dream. Now, I don't know anything about the servants, right? The show was busy.
Yes, I do. I did watch your video on it because it's what out of all of them, all of a sudden, they show the woman naked.
Yeah, like you're just like flip. Oh, hello.
Oh, hi. Yep.
Yeah. So, carnal, that's the carnal servant. And so, like, I don't know anything about this deck. I'd never seen it. She had mentioned it, and I had a dream about it.
That's crazy.
The show is busy, so I don't have time to look things up. I go back to the hotel. I kind of crash.
Right.
And I have this really vivid dream about what I assume is the 40 servants. That's kind of the messaging I got. When I woke up in the morning, I looked it up, and sure as shit, the images I saw, the sigils I saw, the servants I saw, the messaging I saw was all in this deck. I was like, boop, 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 I'm ordering. And I started having more and more dreams and interactions with these servants prior to it arriving. And of all the decks I own, that's the only one I followed the initiation ritual for. Like, that's the only one I followed. And even though, like, and I followed it as intended, not as...
So when you are talking about the initiation, is it something within the box
It's
itself?
something in the grimoire, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the grimoire for the deck talks about initiating the servants and how you do that. So right, it's just like any entity, any magical entity needs to be initiated. It needs to be called upon, and it needs to be thanked. And what is its food? And how do you?
Yes.
So like, in the initiation ritual follows a specific order and path and a specifics. There's like, so you can do whatever you can, like, but there's people who are like, there are people like, I burn the box, and there's people who, but I set out the rum, I set out the candle, I had the servant, I drew this, I did the whole show.
Beautiful.
Took up my dining room table for 40 days.
For what?
40 days.
Oh,
Like,
you
for
have to do
four-
it for 40 days
One
consecutive.
servant a day for 40 days.
That's amazing, Doc.
Yeah, and it's the only time I ever followed it. But
I am literally having blue colored, I can only call them sigils
yeah,
that I'm seeing in my head right now as you're talking about them. They're literally like electric beams doing this to me. Like,
it's just an
I don't know
amazing
how to
system.
explain it right now.
Yeah, that's just the wonder. Now the thing is, you get into the magic, you get into the 40 servants community, and it's a big community, and people are like, man, just fucking use the deck. You don't have to. You do what you want to do. It's chaos magic. You do what you want to do. If you want to follow the ritual, follow the ritual. If you don't want to follow it, don't follow it. Start using it. Don't start using it. Pray to it. Print it out. Masturbate on it. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. But that was the only deck that I was like, I'm intentionally using this deck.
It called to you,
following, I'm following the letter. Now, all the other decks I own, I've never done that with. I don't necessarily initiate them. I don't necessarily put them in Moonlight or anything like that.
I the only two decks, like I say, that I had this, like, they literally followed me. This one followed me around the bookstore. The other followed me around this estate sale, and it was an estate sale of a witch that was missing. Yeah. That the parents were having a sale of her stuff. They didn't know where she was. She was in New York City, and they didn't know where she was, but they were selling all of her stuff. And my friend Andy's like, I thought you weren't supposed to use the cards. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, you didn't open the box? I'm like, no, why would I open the box? He's like, Cindy, go open the box. I opened the box, and it was a tarot deck. I'm like, this is mine. I literally brought it, and I said, I don't care what Spirit says. I'm using this deck. I put that deck under my pillow for 7 days. I had the most amazing, beautiful, the best dreams I've ever had in my entire life for those 7 days. These were the worst.
That's awesome.
Those were the best.
That's awesome. Johnny, it could have been that the mic was low. I was leaned pretty far back.
Hey, Johnny. I'm sorry I couldn't respond to you because I'm still doing my live, honey.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm sorry. Johnny, it probably was me. I was leaning pretty far back away from the mic. So Cindy and I have been going at it for 2.5 hours.
We have been going at it. Going at it.
There's no sign of stopping now.
No, I mean,
That's it.
we're hysterical. Obviously, Doc and I are good friends, obviously, too. So
yeah, I don't just go randomly onto people's shows talking about sex magic. Although if they bring it up, I might. So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, we need those other altars.
Yeah, right. You gotta have altars, man. You gotta I mean, you don't have to have an altar, but it's a hell of a lot more fun on an altar.
Okay, yeah.
Or under an altar.
Over.
Next to, behind.
Squatting on. I don't know. Like hanging off of.
Right. Tied to.
I don't judge. I mean, I just.
That's right.
I'll watch.
Your business. That's
I'll
right.
watch. I might learn.
That's right. And
I might.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm a learner.
I'm a learner. She's a learner. She's a learner. She says, she's like, I can take direction.
Oh my God, Lakin. Yes, Lakin. Yes, girl. Oh gosh, that's amazing.
That's right. That's fun. All right. So what else? What are we going to talk about next? What's the next thing?
So I need to know why I'm seeing these sigils.
Oh, it could just be. You'll have to draw them and write them down. But go check out if you.
Okay, so I'm seeing this one in my head. I'll show you. I'll draw it. It's literally like this. It's a circle. How do I do this? It's like that.
A circle.
So it's like oval here. I keep a pen and pad handy.
I usually do, but I don't have one. But also, I can't draw what you're doing.
And this is one of them that I'm seeing, and it's electric blue. They literally are like, like if lightning was put to a color, they make it blue, and they make it like. So I have a black background that I'm seeing, and I'm seeing these symbols and signs coming at me.
Yeah, here I'll put it in the private chat for you, so you can pull it up if you want to take a look at it. But that's not necessarily a servant of the 40 servants I easily identify. That said, there are sigils that look like that. So that looks very much like the protector, but upside down. And so what?
Interesting.
So the protector is. I have pen and paper as well. So
I love it.
We can draw pictures for each other.
Yes. I have other ones too. Maybe some of these look rune-esque to me.
So so you talked about the protector, or you showed it like the circle with that looks like this. So this is the servant that I use liberally. In fact,
interesting.
It's outside my door right now. So if you were to walk out the door, you would see this, and it would be in blue.
What?
Yeah, it's in blue chalk.
You're freaking me out.
Yeah, it was for Hurricane, whatever the last one was. Dorian.
Oh my gosh, poor Lakin. I'm sorry, Lakin.
I'm seeing them in my head. Good, you need to see. She needs to see the servants in her head. She needs more servants in her life.
Yeah, like I literally, they're like, so this deck and my Mythic Tarot will still call me, like for me to use them for myself. Like
I love when that happens.
Yeah, they're like, okay, you need to come here. Like I can hear them in my head, and if I haven't listened for a while or whatever, I'm like, okay, I'll get to it.
Right.
Yeah. That's interesting, though, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, the 40s, it's my soul deck. It's my soul system, and it's the thing that kind of blew the doors off my magic and the work that I do. And I'm just a big fan of the work, and I'm happy to do the work. And
what was his name again? Tommy Kelly?
Tommy Kelly.
Tommy Kelly.
Tommie. Adventures in Woo Woo and he's a musician, he's an artist, he's a comic book artist,
that's amazing.
He's a talented guy and very generous of spirit, and I'm thankful to know him a little bit and to watch his work and to benefit from the work that he does, and so I'm really thankful for that. And I think people I think he's been helpful just in he probably doesn't know that all the help that he does, but he talks about his magic. He talks about what he does. He talks about
that's amazing.
Other people, and he kind of creates this kind of world where you can learn a lot, and he makes you feel like everything's okay.
And I love that, because how many times have you heard that witches' work is secret?
Yeah.
Right? And your book of shadows is for yourself and nobody else.
Right. That's right.
Right?
Yep.
And so I love when people will share their magic workings, right?
Yeah,
and is that your mood lighting you were talking about over your shoulder, your left shoulder?
It is.
I love it, to be honest. It's super awesome.
Isn't it? I've been playing with lighting for days on end here. Hang on, I got to turn my phone back on full color so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Look, I can make it.
That's about the color, actually, that the
that's the
sigils
wrong-
were.
that's the
That
wrong
blue
one.
color. Now that I think
That
about
one.
it.
That was
Oh,
the
that's
wrong-
cool.
I turned on my overhead light. Hang on. Smart light, friends. Smart light, friends.
I love that you are controlling that with your phone. That's amazing.
Oh, I
My
did
house
turn
is
it on.
my house is way too old to do that too.
I can make it a little pinky.
I love it.
Yeah, do a little. That green doesn't show up real well against the coquina rocks, but there we go. We'll turn it back to so
That's fantastic. That is
Yeah.
actually the color that I was seeing the sigils come in.
Because
Sigils.
I'm very blue today. I'm very blue today.
Yes, you are. Yes, and it is. But that see how it has that luminescent look. That's what I
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah,
That's
fun.
exactly what I was saying.
Pow chicka wow wow, she says.
Oh my God. The predator is also on my door.
the protector.
Oh, protector
Yeah.
for the predator.
And Lakin's been Lakin and I have talked about the use of the servants and how do we use the servants. So she knows. And so when people talk to me, the protector is usually what they're talking to me about, right? They're like, so listen, I need help with something. Somebody's transgressing me or having a bad situation at work or whatever it might be. I think my boss is out to get me, whatever it is. And so the protector is just one of these really super powerful servants that I use quite a bit in my magic. And I use it for everything: natural disasters, bad days, conversations that I'm having, air travel, driving. When I moved down here and was on my own for a while, the protector was the kind of core servant. And so there's another servant that gets used pretty widely called the witch, which is about your power. There's no predators at her door. She's like,
Thank God.
And
God.
that's because she has the protector.
That's right. She has the protector, not the predator, Cindy.
That's right. So that's, to some degree, that's very much like the magic of the servants. That's the one I use a lot. And road opener, the oppressor. The oppressor
And the protector for situations like that.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep, the oppressor is a good one too. Like I said, I'm not saying I made him stay in his house. I'm just saying he isn't coming out. But I've used the oppressor to identify my transgressors, right? So that's what some of the oppressor does.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I needed the oppressor is the one that you said will.
Yeah, the oppressor can help you to identify who's oppressing you, and stop that oppression. So that's the handy bit, right?
I love that. You know what? I'm going to tell my bestie who was supposed to be on here.
Yeah.
Val.
The oppressor's very threefold rule. Like the oppressor is very much like they're going to take that person's oppressive energy and they're going to block it and put it back upon them. Right. So again, you're not putting the oppressor on a person. You're putting the oppressor out there. You're using the oppressor as a servant for you. And the oppressor's work protects you. Their energy comes at the oppressor and the oppressor's just not having it. It puts it back on them. That's not your manipulation.
No. And I agree with that. I mean, when somebody's doing something to you, we have every right to protect ourselves and allow it to go back from whence it came.
I'm very coffee.
Me too.
So
I must be getting yours. It's a tickle right there.
Yeah. Maybe. It's communicable, right?
That's right.
It's one of those computer viruses.
I mean, it's the computer COVID.
Right. It's coming to get us. How do you tap into these two? How do you tap into the oppressor and the protector? Yeah, like Cindy, I put the link in the private chat for you.
Oh, okay.
So Bill can find it.
Oh, shoot,
so
yes.
The servants, you don't have now. Listen, I'm going to tell you that you should absolutely, if you're going to be in the servants, in the world of the servants, you should absolutely absolutely kind of buy the deck and do that. That said, you don't have to, right? If you go to this website, it'll check you out, or you can check it out and you can kind of see it, and it'll walk you through. But essentially, the initiation for the servant is around the sigil or sigil, whatever you want to call it. And what you're asking for is you're asking for the servant to help you with a specific situation. And then when they do or they don't, your job is to thank them, right? And so in the 40 servants tradition, it is to thank them publicly, which is why there's a Facebook group. Right, so that's where a lot of thinking gets done, and some of that thinking is legitimate, and some of it is kind of creepy.
Well,
some of it is kind of like, I'm thanking the Colonel for last night's date. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, like, get over it, man. Shut the fuck up. Just like, don't be fucking creepy.
Don't be creepy.
Don't be fucking creepy about that. Don't
make us get the oppressor out on you.
Thank you, Colonel. That's all I need. You don't have to get all fucking descriptive. Like, I know what happened. Like, and so does the other person. And I'll note that there's not two people thanking the Colonel.
That's hysterical.
Right.
I've put the oppressor on someone after a really bad situation. Haven't heard from them in about a year.
Yep.
Win.
Yep.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like I said, the servants for me have been very, very powerful magic.
Yeah.
And
I have to tell you, when I watched that, because I know you were talking about them in one of your videos.
Probably, I do all the time.
I'm such a want to go buy. What's that? You're such a fanboy.
Oh my
Well, it made me really want to look at the deck, and I sat there and watched the flip through, and I was like, this is amazing. So if you guys go on to YouTube, onto Dr. Mystical, he has a flip through of the 40 servants. It's awesome. It's awesome. And you need to just go do it. You need to just go watch it. And I'm sure Doc is going to pull it up for me right now. And
yeah, I'm gonna go.
I'll put the link up.
I've done so many pictures of the servants. But this last one is the one. All right. I want to get into this. I've changed my flip through style considerably.
I know, but I love it. I think it's.
Thank you.
You did some fun things, like you were, but the one I also watched another one, and it was like you did this, and it was almost like stop animation or something, So this one shows this. And the next one would be, I just liked it.
So that's what I'm doing with the boxes now. I'm gonna shoot a video over the weekend to talk about the change in my style.
It was fun.
I got tired. I realized the deal is I realized that I was fanboying on tarot decks. Because they'd come and I'm so fucking excited.
Me too.
Oh my god! I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like, I open it up and I'm like, and you're opening it and I do it live, right? I'm not live. I record it, but like I'm opening it and I'm like, oh my god, I love these cards, and then I get and then I'm like 2 weeks in and I'm like, okay.
They're all right.
Or I got excited about, and it really wasn't until I did my bookshop haul that I realized that one is I was inspired by Papa Squirrel, who's another tarot content creator, and he's amazing.
I'm putting it down. Papa Squirrel?
Papa Squirrel. He's amazing. And we've talked, I am remiss. I was gonna do a live show with him, and then I moved and he was moving, and but he's very artistic and very deliberate in his style, with flip throughs and things like that. And I'm kind of enjoying. I'm not copying what he's doing. Right? I'm doing my own shtick, but I really like that. I really like that he kind of almost gave permission to the tarot content creator to not be like in love with every fucking deck that's out there. Because
I'm not. I have some. Yeah. I have some that.
Yeah.
It's one of the mermaids decks that I have, and I loved it when I first saw it, and then I I saw what they said in the book, and it just everything seems so much darker.
I hate
Then-
that one. I hate
Do you know what I
when,
mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
And I just was like, I'm not feeling this deck the way I was feeling
I
it.
struggle with that with fairy decks. Like I struggle with that with fairy because the fairy decks, all the
Yeah.
books, the grimoire, the little white books.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fairy oracle. Like I think the fairy
I love
oracle is a beautiful deck, and it doesn't follow the lore of the fae. And that's like I want to see a fairy deck that's fucking evil and shit, like dark, like the fae. I want to see one come out. It's like the fae's gonna fuck you up, like it's the fuck you up oracle, and it's the fae.
Maybe you need to make this deck then.
I do, but
Yeah.
what I cannot do is I cannot draw, so I'll just have to do real life photos. You'll have to be my fae.
Oh, I could do that.
There you go. We'll just
Can
dress
you
you up.
see me being mean and evil though?
Oh, totally. Yeah. No.
Okay. I could do it.
We'll just dress you up, and that'll be fine.
Hell yeah.
So like that's
Rhino
so
or
sometimes
no
I
rhino?
struggle. That's right.
That is the question.
Sometimes I struggle with that a little bit.
Yeah.
I struggle with decks where, like, I like the Fairy Tarot from Radley Valentine, and I like the Fairy Oracle or the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle.
Yeah, I
which is
like
what
that
I'm
one.
gonna say. Which is very romance novel-esque and very Rankin and Bass animation style.
Mhm.
And I like them. I think they're beautiful, and I also don't think that they truly follow like. And I'm not looking for purist. I'm not a purist by any stretch of the imagination. Like I'm far from a purist.
Right.
But I would like to see. Sometimes I get into. I'm like at the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle. I thought for sure they're going to touch on some of the real Fae stuff, and they do.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful deck, and
You don't fuck with the Fae.
What's that?
You don't fuck with the Fae.
No, you don't. But that's what I want. Like people are like, oh my god, fairies, and I want to feel that way.
You want to feel that way.
I do, and I do think the decks are beautiful, and I think in the sense that they are, storybook eyes.
That's right.
Don't fuck with the Fae. That's right.
Don't fuck with the Fae.
Fuck with the Fae.
Listen, I remember the first time. So when I was in Florida, that that was
At one time.
well, no, it was later. I was in
Second.
Florida for like a summer, and it was horrible. Thank God I had the Fae with me. They were with me.
Yeah.
But they do not like men that are abusers or have abuser mentality.
Yeah. They don't
It's-
even like men that are even in the are next to that guy. Like you know what I mean? Like that's
Yes,
right. That's the thing.
that was hysterical.
They're like if you knew that guy or we're in the drive-through behind him, you're probably gonna get caught in the crossfire in that situation. And I think I'd love to see an oracle system or a deck system based on the foundational work on things like Fae and and elementals and things like that to really talk about it. But what I worry about, and maybe this is why it's never been done, what I worry about is that people will be like, oh, I think I'll call the Fae into
Right.
me. And that probably...
And I don't believe the Fae is for everybody, to be honest. I feel the Fae really initiate you in, right?
Yeah, blood in, blood out, right? That's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not had like bad experiences with the Fae because I can remember a lifetime as a fairy.
Mm,
Remembered the smell of the dirt. I remembered how little I was, right?
mhm.
But I really haven't had like, I know that they can mess with people hardcore.
Right.
Do I think that I was protected? Absolutely. Absolutely. I was
Absolutely.
definitely protected.
Yeah, I mean, everything, I think that's part of the whole the working too, is to understand like what we see this in a lot of traditions, right? There is a dark side to things, and you
Right.
can use that dark side, and you should use the dark side of things. It's about a balance in
Right.
in that, right? It's not about It's not about just being a pure. And then there will be people who are on the dark side who only work on the dark side, just like there's going to be people who
Right.
only work in the the fluffy bunny category.
That's me.
I don't think that's true. I don't think you work in. Do you work in the fluffy bunny? Fluffy
No.
bunnies aren't having sex magic, Cindy.
Oh shit, then no.
Yeah, I don't. Fluffy bunnies are all the love and light and oh my gosh, you said a
Oh my
swear.
gosh.
You said a
Listen.
swear.
No, I need to fuck myself
even-
and get some shit done.
Right, I don't even have clients that are like that. And if anybody came up to me that a fair is like people sit down with me and I'm like, no, you're not gonna. We're not gonna have. I will absolutely tell you what's up, and you don't want to hear that. What you want to hear is everybody's lovely and it's unicorns and dolphins and fucking
not that way, though.
flowers and fluffies and shit. And so your person is right over there.
Mhm.
So take your ticket, hit the bricks.
Hit the bricks.
Let me talk to your friend though. Like y'all need to sit down.
Let me talk to the friend.
Right. Like so, but like I think that right. It's just like Star Wars, right? There's people who are way, way over on the good side.
So funny because I literally heard.
Right. Right. And there's
Yeah.
the middle, and there is the middle ground, right? And
Right.
that's where I think so we can operate in the dark, and that's
Yeah.
okay. I think. I
Yeah.
did for a while.
Yeah. No, I think
Learn-
I've done
learn a
some
lot about it.
stuff that's. I've done some stuff. I'm not ashamed of it at all. I just listen. This is the thing: is I firmly believe if you know you're a powerful magician, if you're a powerful witch, it's okay to say that.
That's
Right? I believe that.
That's right.
I'm in my power, and I believe
That's right.
that I
And
own
I'm
my
gonna-
power.
That's right. And I'm gonna manifest the universe to my will. Right?
And-
And that's
yeah.
that's what usually what it sounds like on my drive home is don't fuck with a witch. That's what, don't fuck with a witch.
Don't fuck with the witch.
I'm gonna fucking leverage my power to my cause. I'm gonna bend the universe to my will as much as I can. And if that means that it like because I want that to happen. I don't want people like I don't want to get in those situations, and I'm not combative. But
Right.
if I feel like if you're in your power as a witch, I think that you should be in that power, and you should understand that power has responsibility.
And I think you have to be careful in wielding that power, right? Obviously.
right.
But
Because
this is
absolute
that's
power
the
corrupts
difference
absolutely.
where you can walk that fine line, right?
Right. You got right. Like Yoda, right? I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm like Yoda, but Yoda understands the good side and the dark side, right? Of all the Star Wars characters.
Right.
This has gone into a
No,
weird
I love
place,
it.
Right. Right. This has gone into a very strange place. But
No.
right, of all of the kind of Star Wars characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yoda is the one that's kind of like, right? He's the one who's like, so listen, I know about this kind of like forever living thing. I'm not going to tell you.
Right.
And that's because he learned this from, right? You can presume, and he learned it from the dark side. And so
Right.
he lives it and he understands the balance of this. And so that's what I think makes witches and magicians very powerful and in their awareness that
Right.
it's not all. And I get frustrated with friends and people in the spiritual community are all very fluffy bunny, unicorn, love and light all of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think they're it's not because they don't know darkness exists. They very plainly do. They're just refusing to acknowledge that this has. They don't want to acknowledge this for themselves.
and I think once you put that you've stepped over that line, and now if I'm to the point of don't fuck with a witch,
Right.
trust me, you're only getting back what you have sent out to me.
Exactly. It's nothing more than
I'm
me
not going
protecting
to
myself. I'm
proactively
not-
go after you. I have no reason
Right.
to
That's right. And it's not the right
until I
thing
need
do.
to defend myself. Hey, Carmen.
That's
you know?
exactly right.
I
That's
mean,
exactly right.
I'm not out to harm anybody. I'm not looking for a fight. I do not go
But I'm
out
not
there
going to be fucked
and
with
impose
either.
myself.
Right.
What's
No.
that?
But we're not going to be fucked with either.
That's right.
That's kind of the point, is that it's not, I'm not, but
Yeah.
right, but we have to acknowledge that there's a spectrum that exists. There
Exactly.
are people at the very far dark side of the spectrum
Absolutely.
who are out there doing that work. And
Right.
there are people at the other end of the spectrum who are, love and light and fluffy bunny. And that's fine. And
I'm love and
that's-
light. Don't fuck with me though.
That's right. There's a balance. And that's,
There is a balance, right?
that's right.
But it's also self-preservation, right? I mean, if you don't have that self-preservation, then I worry about you. Like,
Right.
I worry that
Yeah.
you're trying to put out so much love and light, but you're not protecting yourself, which
Right.
what is the Wiccan Read saying? The Wiccan Read says, do no harm, including yourself.
Right. So that's exactly my frustration with love and light. Like the pure fluffy bunny stuff. Like I'm love and light. Like believe me, I'm totally love and light.
Got
Very
it.
positive
Yep.
messaging. Right. I'm gonna see something dark. I'm gonna try to turn it into
Yeah.
a constructive message for you. So I'm very, very love and light. And I get frustrated when people are so far away from that. Like they're so fluffy
Yeah.
bunny that they're not protecting themselves. That they're in
Exactly.
denial that shit like this exists.
That's
And
exactly
like-
what, yes. That's
my
what
friend-
worries me.
That's right. My friend Kayla is good to remind me sometimes if I start strolling along the path of the fluffy bunny. She's like, dude, tighten up. Like, get serious about this. Like your protection is. I'll get a weird messages periodically. Your protection is down. It's like your system's down, and so you can't do that. So you gotta
That's amazing that she's so honed in on you,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, well, that's one of the few people in the world that I'll let read for me, and and I've learned a tremendous amount with Kayla. I've worked with Kayla for a long time, and and she does some. I would say in terms of the balance work, I would say she's on just to the other side, with a lot of the work that she does, and she's
Yeah.
the kind of the person who really helped me to acknowledge that there is a darker world out there that we can use, and that there are entities that other people would consider evil and terrible, and they have a purpose.
Right.
Like vampires have a purpose, and like so how do we leverage these things and use them in the right ways and protect ourselves in that process?
People will say, well, do you believe in vampires? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in that dimension. I know they exist. I've had my girlfriend, and his name was Brick. I would go, she's like, Cindy, I swear to you, this is going to sound crazy. She's like, I swear to you, I feel like I have somebody here. And I'm like, okay, don't tell me anything.
Right.
And
right.
I
Now
tuned
stop
in.
talking. Right.
I tuned in and I'm like, I swear to God, this guy is a vampire. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's exactly what she thought he was. And he was the most, it's crazy because, I talk to spirit. This is something I do. Brick is the one that made me understand that these other dimensions exist and that vampires do exist. And this is the 90s, right?
Yep.
I completely knew and understood. He was amazing. Like when they say that vampires can be super charming,
Yeah.
yep, they can be super charming. Super sexual, they certainly can.
It always goes back to sex magic.
It does, because I'm highly sexual, I guess.
I guess you're all just over sex magicked.
It's all, yes. No, but
All I
I
think
haven't,
about.
it was, so have you ever read any of Anne Rice's books?
Yep.
I literally could not get past page 20 maybe of the very first one in the, that whole series that she had first come out with oh my God, I can't think of it.
Pre-Twilight.
The Green Twilight. I can't
Interview
think
with a
of
Vampire.
that. You know, the Lestat Chronicles and stuff like
Right,
that.
Yeah. Yep.
I couldn't. I literally was in the dimension of the vampires the whole time.
Yeah.
I was reading it. It was more than 20 pages, but I'm just being,
Yeah.
I was in that dimension. I'm like, oh my God, I can't be in here. Like, I can't be in here. And I remember being in there the whole time.
Right. Yeah, I mean I think that kind of interdimension. I think it's good for witches and magicians to understand that and I think it's good for people to know that there are both of these things out in the world, and to some degree, that's how we walk our path. Like that's understanding that there's good and bad in the world, and that we have a choice, and that we're all given this kind of this kind of
Night,
we're all
Bill.
given this choice.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, you've brought up some amazing points, right?
Just stream of consciousness at this point.
That's right. Tired. Well, I kind of wanted it to be that way, right? Like touching on certain points tonight, right?
Well, that's good.
But I wanted it to free flow.
Yeah,
what's that?
That's exactly what we did. So I'm glad.
Yeah, no, I wanted it to be able to where we could touch on certain subjects and wherever it led us, and then we could go back to another, and then wherever it led us. And I think that that's really
fun.
It was really fun. I enjoyed myself so much.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much. I really do.
I appreciate you, Cindy. You've been wonderful and wonderful friend, and I really enjoy. I enjoy our work together. We do a lot of fun things together.
I agree. I can't wait to come and see you. Maybe you need to come up here.
Please, advice to the world: don't come to Florida. They're not ready for shit. Like, don't believe what you see. I'm telling you.
No, you were telling me that they're just walking around like there's nothing wrong.
Good for them.
There's no masks. They're just doing whatever they want to do.
Good for them, as far as I'm concerned. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the threefold rule, right? enjoy walking around being an asshole.
Right.
Right.
If you get your comeuppance, you get your comeuppance.
Yeah, I'm just, as far as I'm concerned, I've always thought there should be another plague. I'm just, it's just not targeting the right people. And so, and I hate to say that because I don't want to make light of the public health crisis, because I'm certainly
no, I know.
I'm just saying that people need to make smart choices.
I agree.
And yeah, so yeah, no, I'll come up there. We'll come up there.
Yes, you guys come up here. When you come up here, you let me know so I can see you guys.
That's right. Yeah, like, I can't even tell you, like, legit, last weekend, I was looking at a house in a store in New Hampshire. And I was like, you know what? I'm totally going to buy that shit. And I'm going to open up a spirit shop in this rinky-dink town in the center of New Hampshire. And I was like, why do you think that store is out of business? Like, what about, and could I make that work? And how old is that place? And I was like, maybe, and I actually said, I think I'm gonna call the realtor. Like,
yeah.
And like I'm talk about impulsive, right? Like,
right.
No business plan, no savings really to to start a business, to quit everything I have.
The universe, you can make it happen, Mike.
I guess I'm gonna have to, yeah. But I was like very, very close to I like looking up the town, looking up the neighboring town. Where are the other spiritual shops?
Was there one near this town?
Yeah, like 11 or 12 miles away.
Oh.
But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I don't really like.
I mean, you can come back to New York.
I have online. I don't know about that.
You're like, meh.
New York.
Maybe.
Maybe like a lot of things, right? I might appreciate a lot more now that I've had a different experience.
Like maybe in some of these.
Buffalo, though.
No.
Buffalo.
No, the energy.
Buffalo, please don't take offense to this, but Buffalo is.
No, Buffalo. Don't take offense.
Buffalo's kind of a shithole for me. Spiritually, psychically, Buffalo is just not my place anymore.
No.
It had its season.
Yeah.
I'm happy and thankful for that. I love the people that I know in Buffalo and care about.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely come back and visit, and I have no intention to have any intention of living there anymore.
But maybe someplace that has some great natural resources too. Like not Elmira, Ithaca.
Ithaca.
Or what
Yeah,
about
I like the
even
Finger Lakes region.
yes. Listen, Canandaigua would love you. That's pretty close to me.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Listen, Rochester needs a new metaphysical shop.
Yeah, they do. They need
Just-
better weather, but yeah. Like
Yeah.
not now. I'm sure it's fine, but
Yeah.
I do legitimately hate snow, but as long as I don't have to go out in it, I think I'll be all right. So
Yeah.
And right now I don't go out anymore anyway. Like I don't even leave the house anymore. So.
And that's fantastic. So it's good for you guys starting the new semester and everything, right?
In the regular job, in the day
Yeah.
hustle. I don't know. I don't know how much I don't know. I don't. What I know is I'll be working from home. That's what I know.
Nice. Well, that's what we wanted for you.
That's that's exactly right. And so finally,
Look at how it happened.
Some modicum of science prevailed, apparently. Somewhere.
See my eyebrow?
Right. Well, I don't know, but something's happened. So this gives me a little bit more time to work on what I need to work on to find my kind of way out. So I don't really talk about the day hustle too much, other than to say that I don't want it to be the day hustle anymore.
So are your kids able to do school at home completely, or are they doing both?
Yep, they're homeschooled kids.
That's right.
They always have been.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's just a continuation of that for the year. And fortunately, I mean, you hear crazy stories out of Florida about K-12, and
It's bad. I gave you stories too when I was down there.
There's a reason those stories are in the news right now. So a lot of that is true, but there is a growing kind of force du jour. I don't know how to say that, but there's a growing movement amongst school districts and teachers to tell the autocrat in Tallahassee, who to basicly that he's fucking crazy.
Right.
That I mean, the schools weren't passing hygiene standards prior to this. There's no reason to expect that they will. And it's not just even about that. It really is about the risk to families and the risk to children and the risk and the spread of that. And to say that children aren't human beings that can't spread viruses is to be foolishness. So there are glimmers of hope for families, and I think they should have a choice. A lot of families can't do what I can do, and so I'm appreciative of my privilege, and I'm understanding of my privilege, and I think that schools can make a better choice.
It's interesting because when I was down there in 2001, and I was beside myself because just even lice was rampant.
Yeah, I mean, it's hot here. We have bugs.
I mean, when they think gasoline is good to put on your child's head.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
well, it's Florida. Like, there's a reason the stories of Florida exist. I mean, some of them aren't fair. I don't want to say that they're not fair, but
that's the truth.
But there is a lot of crazy shit down here, and a lot of it is because there's really no kind of, I don't want to say there's no moral compass, but there's like people don't know. You're gonna see my dog's gonna walk behind me here if you see. I mean, like, people here don't walk against traffic. So like this is like the first, like, I noticed it for a while. It's like, oh, they're not walking against traffic. That's strange. As it turns out, like, I was taught my whole growing up life, when you're walking on a road, you walk against traffic.
Right.
Not here. They weren't taught that. So, and we checked it because my oldest was like, why do people do that? And her friends were like, what are you talking about? Well, what are you talking about? I'm talking about not being hit by a car, dummy.
Right.
Like what the fuck? What the fuck?
Right. It's terrifying, right?
It is sometimes. You're just like, well, it is. You know, there's places for everybody, and this was the place it needed to be for a long while. We'll figure out what needs to happen in the next couple
That's
of
right.
months.
Good stuff coming for you, man.
I appreciate it, Cindy. Well, listen, go to bed. You know, you got some rituals to work on. And some new altar ornaments, I gather from some of your previous shows.
Right. I mean, sometimes you just need a phallic symbol.
Sometimes
For the
you just-
phallic
right,
symbol.
There's nothing wrong with having a magic wand. Gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta make those. We gotta make those manifestations happen. That's what.
That's right. Sometimes you just got to do it.
That's right. Well, remember to put, I guess what I'll say is we'll leave you with this: put your wish into the universe very loudly.
Super loudly.
Super
With a lot of impact.
That's right. Big magics. Big magic. Cindy,
Big
I had such fun with you.
Thank you
we
so
always
much.
have fun. We'll have to do this again.
Doc, yes, I would like to do a, what do you call it with you too? What is it called? A collab.
What would you like to do?
We'll have to do a tarot
Yes,
collab.
let's do a tarot collab. Yes, absolutely. Now that
That would
life
be
is
fun.
not as crazy as moving all around the east coast of Florida for me, I was just thinking the other day that I had all these collabs like aimed and like in my head to set up, and then
I know because we've talked about it too.
and the fucking world fell apart on me, and that's
Lord have
that's
mercy.
okay.
You had
Now
the
I'm starting
most.
to get back. Yeah, it's the worst.
You have had the craziest summer, I think, of anybody I personally know.
Yeah, I mean, how many existential crises can you manage in one?
I mean,
at one
let's
time,
just let's not give you one. Let's just give them all to you.
right? Let's throw pandemic, imminent death. Let's throw
Yep.
potential joblessness. Let's throw homelessness on top of that.
I mean,
Let's just
why
see how
not?
shit shakes out, right?
Why not?
see if he keeps kicking after this. So he's like, well, we're making it work. So yeah, let's do a collab, and we should do a live tarot reading show together too.
Hell
We should
yeah.
we should.
I
we should
definitely
do
want to
something.
do that.
We'll do it like a deck discussion or something fun too. Like what is our favorite size deck?
What deck do you like? What deck
What's-
suits you?
What's your favorite deck?
What? I have so many favorite decks.
Depends on your moods.
What? I mean, sometimes you need a big deck.
Right.
Sometimes a small deck would be fine.
That's right. That's right. I get it.
Listen, it's his. We can do this all day. You and I.
And we will.
We do. Really.
Yeah, we'll just start. We'll do. That'll be like the 24-hour deck collab. We'll just. We'll just circle double entendre for 24
On top of each other.
just like, and so right now I'm feeling like a very large deck would be the best thing.
Well, it's so funny because somebody even said to me, they're like, were you flustered or were you normal, like talking about? I'm like, yeah, I wasn't flustered. I'm like, nope, that's just me.
Yeah. This is just the conversation we're gonna have, right? So,
And it's fine.
that's right. Well, you know, the live reading show we should do together is with the Decameron Tarot and the Manara Tarot.
And the Decameron in which one?
And my Manara.
Manara. Yes.
So that's.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, I was like flipping through, looking for looking through some additional decks for the community, and I was like, oh, what is this deck? And I'm like, oh, that's a little vivid, right? That so then to some degree, I'm like, can I get away with that on YouTube? Like, I'm not sure. They haven't demonetized anything on me, so. Not that I monetize, so I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll see what happens, but I was like, oh, I've seen this deck. Like, I know this one. This is Cindy's dirty deck.
Cindy's deck.
That's right. So we'll throw Decameron, and we'll throw. That's that collab we need.
Oh my God. Can we please? That would be
Yes.
amazing.
Absolutely. Like, and we haven't pulled out the Monaro Tarot on the show in a while, so they're
And
all my dirty birdies will be.
yes. We should do an hour with you and then an hour.
Yeah, we'll just
with me.
bounce back and forth. That's right. Going over to Cindy's show. Come on over.
Yes.
We're
Go
only
to
an
back.
hour. We're only an hour into this session. It's not over yet. So
Don't worry, girls and boys.
That's right. Ice yourself down, and let's get going. That's right.
Quick cooling off period.
That's right. Go get the ice, get your altar built, and let's head on over and get the rest of it.
Hysterical.
All right, so let's do that. We'll figure that out. But for
Fine.
now, I gotta go. I'm gonna
Yes.
turn into a pumpkin.
Yes, me too.
All right.
I'm gonna go read about vampires.
Go read about vampires. That sounds exciting. I'm reading The Psychic Witch, by the way, by Matt Aaron, and that's a good book. You should check that out.
Wait, is it a novel?
It's not a
Or-
novel. It's
Oh.
I don't say a manual, but
Psychic Witch.
it's called The Psychic Witch by Matt Aaron. It's very good.
Ooh.
And he calls out a lot of the bullshit that you and I agree with, like that there's like the secret witchy coven border community, like you got to know the secret handshake bullshit.
Right.
Like
I'm not into ceremonial at all.
It's one, yeah. And so he calls that out kind of early on in the book, and it's actually really good. It's a nice. It's very, very intentional about the kind of the intersections of mediumship and witchcraft and magic.
I like it.
And so I've been really enjoying it. So.
And you said what's their name?
Matt Aaron, I'm probably mispronouncing it. I apologize, Matt. Auryn.
Auryn. No, I would say maybe it's Oren.
Oren, yeah, maybe.
Aaron or Oren. Matt, you said?
Matt, yeah.
And okay, so Tommy Kelly, you said is Tommie, but is it Kelley or just Y?
Just Y.
Okay.
Just Y. But if you Google adventures, like if you search for him, you'll get Adventures in Woo Woo. Lakin says the dirty birdies need their feathers ruffled.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think she means fluffed, but
Listen, yes, fluffing is appropriate here.
yeah, there's a build-up.
Right.
I mean, if you want a really powerful sacrifice on the altar, you really gotta build that up.
Just gotta do it.
You just gotta do it. Well, let's get on with that, shall we?
Shall we? Let's go! Commence to our sex magic.
Well, Cindy, thank you so much. I'm so
Thanks, Doc.
happy to be here. Thank you for filling my Thursday with wonderfulness and glee and happiness and dirty
Happiness.
thoughts. That's nice.
Absolutely. Just you make me happy and laugh, and I so much. Thank you so much.
Too. We had so much fun. I'm glad people stuck around.
Yes, there's a couple left.
Yeah, that's all right. It's been a
I
long show.
don't know about you, but I look more ruffled than fluffed afterwards. I like looking ruffled.
Right. I
rather
mean,
than
when
fluff.
it's done right.
That's
you
right.
should be ruffled at the end of it. You can fluff in the middle, but you should be
Right.
You need to be good and ruffled by the end of it. I mean, people need to be like, whoa.
Well, like your hair needs to look like it's woo.
I don't really. My hair never looks like that. A little bit.
I mean,
my mustache is a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
If I do it right. If
right.
things are going
If it's right, I mean,
it becomes a little unkept.
or a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So tomorrow, Cindy's channel will no longer be on YouTube. Even YouTube's like, no, you can't do that.
We can't even with this girl.
No, we're gonna put her over on our other channel, on our other platform.
That's amazing.
All
I
right,
love
so
you
go-
so much. Thank
I
you
love
so
you
much.
too, Cindy,
Jack.
so much. Go make good decisions, but not too good decisions.
I mean, sometimes we have to make bad decisions so we can make up for the good decisions.
That's right. That's right. We can always ask for forgiveness. So,
Right. And if they're generous, they will allow us.
I like generosity.
Me too. We can do this all
right.
day.
We have to go, or it's gonna be.
I
gone.
know.
All
I mean-
we'll let's get into it another time. We're gonna.
Bye, Doc. Take
Bye,
care.
Cindy. We'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
everybody, for sticking
Bye,
around.
everybody.
You guys rock. And I love you guys. Mwah. Take care.
We'll see you soon, friends.